There we go.
There it is.
Hey boys, how the hell you doing? This is Real Men Talk Shit. We got Josh and Void with us as always, and this week we got fucking the Call of Duty royalty himself, Woods.
Where the hell is he? Right.
How the hell have
That
you
voice.
been,
Don't bring that guy. Don't bring that guy to the show.
Good to meet
Real
you,
Men
James. I'm
Talk
Josh,
Shit.
man.
I love that. Real Men Talk Shit. I love that. It's one of my favorite titles ever.
Yeah, I was a little surprised at it when I was asked to come on the show that Zach had named it Real Men Talk Shit. I was like, oh, we just got an expletive right there. We're doing it big off the jump. We're coming in hot.
Coming from New York, you can't do that shit lightly. You can't not be exaggerative with it. You just got to say fucking shit all the fucking time, and then everybody gets used to it.
You got a good point. From what I understand, it's a colloquial thing that in the South, cussing is a little more. It's badly regarded in the South. You know what I mean? Apparently, but whereas
There's more
in New England,
manners.
cab drivers are cussing all over the place, and people just f-word this and that out the window and whatever, and
Yeah.
they don't do that in Mississippi.
Yeah, if he go to New York and somebody doesn't swear at you, you can't trust him. He's fucking
Exactly.
over here. Hey, you
Yeah,
fucking down
exactly.
3 blocks, right? That's where you go. Don't fuck
All right, I have
with
to
me.
ask, because of your profession, is that your real accent?
Dude, I lived in Manhattan for 15 years. So
Okay, so you got it in the wallet.
I absorbed a lot. I absorbed a lot of behavior from New York City. Trust me.
I've only been there once, and it was for like 8
so
days,
crazy.
and I wish I was there because I'm originally from small Dirtville, Mississippi, and I thought New York City was the coolest shit that I'd ever seen in my entire life. Everybody from my state is like, no, that place sucks. That's for them hippie Yankees and all that shit. And I went there and I was like, this is dope.
It's crazy. I've lived in New York my entire life, and I've never just went down to New York City and hung out.
Zach, where do you live?
I live
Zach.
in upstate. I live about
Upstate?
30 minutes south of Albany.
We talked about this before, right?
Yeah. Yeah, you told
know-
me just to own it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You own it, man. I'm from Western Mass. Own that shit from Western Mass.
Yeah.
Part of it.
Is that something to be ashamed of?
I'll
I'll take that as a yes.
It's shame adjacent. You know, it's shame adjacent. There's
Oh,
things
okay.
that could be, you know.
There's bad
that's
shit.
behavior I replicate. Yeah.
Because once you cross the state line, you're in wild territory. Is that what the shame comes from there, Zach?
Yeah.
It's
You
kind
don't
of like
wanna
the people up here from West Memphis, Arkansas, right across the river from Memphis, Tennessee. Where are you from?
just-
Arkansas? Shit.
Fuck. There's just some parts of the country you don't want to be a part of, and fucking upstate New
Oh,
York
I know.
and Western Massachusetts is not one of the places you want to be. It's just
Although-
Hickville.
Although there are pockets of sophistication, like South County and Berkshire County, down that like, Great Barrington area. Then it gets kind of, you have good restaurants, a lot of art, a lot of museums. So there's pockets. You have to find them though.
You get a little bite
Otherwise-
of culture every now and then.
Otherwise, you're just selling crack and trying to stay out of prostitution halls.
Oh, why are you trying to stay? Oh, man. No, I'm not going anymore. Damn it.
It's bad. My hometown has a movie theater and a bowling alley, and that's the only things that you have to do.
We didn't even have a bowling alley. In fucking New Albany, Mississippi, it has nothing. There's not even a public swimming pool. I don't know why people live there. Why did they start a fucking town there?
I can't relate
Just
living in a
what-
big city.
What's that?
Why
James?
do I know New Albany, Georgia?
There's
why
a
do I
New
know
Albany in a
that?
lot of states. I'm from New Albany, Mississippi. I'm originally from Oxford, Mississippi. But I lived in a city in Mississippi called New Albany for a while. But I know that there's one in Indiana. I want to say there's a New Albany in a lot of places.
There's an Albany, New York.
Yep.
Yes,
New Albany.
but still, yeah. If we were named after that, we ain't the New Albany. I can tell you that much because
Well,
it's
Lord
two
Albany.
dirt roads and a horse.
Yeah, but wasn't it Lord Albany? Wasn't he an English aristocrat? And he kind of took over. I
Let's
think
see.
If
Lord
so, I'll
Albany.
assume that's where the name comes from.
I think it's Lord Albany because a lot of lords kind of got land grants here back when 1600s.
Okay, so in 1664, the English took over the Dutch settlements, renaming the city Albany in the honor of the Duke of Albany, the future James II of England and Ireland, James VII of Scotland. The city was officially chartered in 1686 under English rule and named Albany.
And I'm going to go on a limb and assume that all the Albanys coming after that were probably named from that originally.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
sure
because upstate New York is one of the oldest places that is in
America.
There's buildings here that date back to the 1700s everywhere.
All right, James, this is a fun fact. I recently was randomly invited into the world of voice acting just because I went on a different podcast, and a guy that happens to work in a brand new up-and-coming animation studio, to be fair, this is their flagship project, randomly was like, I think you would make a good part in this. Do you want to try it? And so I was like, yeah. And for like 6 months now, I've been doing voice rehearsals every Sunday. I was at it like right before here. Is that the natural way to get into this? I have to ask.
Brother, it's, man, any way you can. You know, it's like there's no rhyme or reason. How you get there doesn't matter. Just get there. And the thing is, I think the biggest answer for most things in life is say yes. You know,
that's a good answer.
Right? You know, train yourself to spot opportunity and just move on it. Because the worst is going to happen is you fail. That's the worst that's going to happen. And so, who cares? You fail, move on to the next thing. You know. So, what are you working on? A video game? What is it? You working on animation? What is it?
Yeah, it's going to be an animated series, a continuation of the Avatar series from Nickelodeon. And the Just Say Yes thing, possibly. It hasn't all the way been greenlighted or anything, but much like you said a moment ago, pretty much my motto on it was I'm just going to say yes, because they pretty much came to me and they said, we're just now getting this off the ground, you know, and these are the expectations here. And I was still like, I'm a trust it here, and I'm just going to say yes. And the guy that wrote the script, I'm good friends with him. He's an awesome guy, and I have gotten along with him great, and I'm glad to be part of it.
And they always need good female actors too, so you're great for that.
Oh yeah, I can just throw on a wig and hop in there and hey everybody. Nobody will know the difference when they hear it. Trust me.
Exactly. Nobody will
the wig
know.
on, do some method acting, get in there.
Yeah.
I think that the only reason I got asked is because he had large vocal cords. And I will say that in my personal opinion, and this is not me talking shit about myself or anything, but had it been a big, established, already well off the ground company, then I would naturally assume that I probably wouldn't have been invited, But as they're getting off the ground, he was like, I think you got a voice. We're going places with this. And I got in early. I just said yes, like you said.
You know, when I started in the industry late, I was already in my 40s when I first started. And wow. I made a point to do everything, because you're not going to learn until you get in there and do it for real. So there's, I've done thousands of projects. Most of them really suck, and I suck in them. But you have to get out there and mix it up with the bots a little bit to see where you are, and then you see where you're weak and you get stronger, and see you're strong and you lock it in. And the only way to do that is to put yourself under pressure, but in a controlled environment. So starting off where there's really if you were brought in to work for James Cameron on Avatar, you probably would get really freaking nervous, right?
Absolutely.
So coming in, so you're at the level you belong. You're comfortable, and once it's like small steps. Next thing you know, out of the blue, you've ascended someplace.
My proudest thing about this whole thing is that the guy that was going to be my character, and yes, I have to admit that there was somebody chosen before me, was John Redcorn on King of the Hill, which is one of my favorite shows ever. And I was so hyped to learn that I'm stepping into those shoes.
That's fucking cool.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, I'll happily replace that guy. I can brag about that for the rest of my life because I love King of the Hill. But and by the way, I'm gonna absolutely take your word that you did pretty much everything you could, because my wife, I told my wife who the guest was, and she was like, I don't think I know who that is. And then she texted me a while ago and said he's been in a ton of movies.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that's just say yes.
And I have 4 IMDb's. There's some stuff that I'm so embarrassed about having on the second and third. There's James C. Burns like 4 times, and half of them, like there's one that's the main one, but there's a lot of stuff that I don't want to be known for that's in secondary, tertiary IMDb channels. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff, but that's, hey man, for me, it's always been about experience. Get in there, mix it up, fail a whole bunch, but fail where the consequences are low.
That's the best way to start. I agree.
It's weird. Like you never expect to actually genuinely be able to do it, which is kind of odd. Like it's an odd thing to start. Like, is my voice good enough? Right. Is it the right way to go about it?
It's got nothing to do with your vocal quality at all. It's performance. If you are not attached to what you're saying in a proper way, I don't care how good your voice is, no one's going to listen. What makes people listen is the organic subtext, the authenticity you attach to the way it's being said, and that's the thing, man. Like if if I'm not saying the line in a way that is making you feel something, then who cares?
It's got a hit.
Right?
Yeah.
So you got to have a lot of depth of meaning in each
And emotion
each,
and being able to say things.
yeah. I mean, anybody can imitate my voice. That's easy, you know. Can you imitate the attitude and the disposition and the knowledge and the insight? This is what your professionalism is.
It's not the voice, it's the James.
Sure.
In your case, or in Zach's case, it's the Zach, or in my case, it's the Josh.
In any case, yeah, exactly.
And what you said a minute ago about getting in there and, you know, failing and sucking a lot. One of my favorite quotes ever is a Kurt Cobain quote talking about playing music and starting his first band. And he said, you just got to go in there and suck until you don't.
Yeah.
I thought that was a pretty good life lesson right there. You know, you just got to suck until you don't anymore. It is what it is. It's a good life motto, in my opinion.
Well, I think what happens is but that is not, and the danger there, and this is a really big danger, is we never get that value of sucking or not sucking by external measurements. It always has to be our own thoughts, words, and actions. I can't, especially as a musician, you can't ever, or an actor, judge yourself on what other people say, think, say, or do about you, because you have no control over that. So it's when
in general,
it's when we start like enjoying and having just a love affair with how we do it. What is my idea? Embrace. I was having this conversation with somebody the other day, a writing buddy of mine, and I said, you know, every major part, every part I got that it was a big deal, like it was the best stuff of my career, has been when I was totally off the reservation, and when I just I didn't care. I did shit that was against the rules, where I violated every rule there was. I was willing to and every great job I've gotten was a result of kind of stepping aside and, you know, being a professional, but not listening to the limitations in my head. Oh, you can't do that. You can't. Oh, you can't say that. Oh, it says you got to do this. Ah, fuck that. No, I'm doing it this way. You know, and that's always the trigger point. So when you say that, it's got to be the internal thing where you stop judging yourself and you just, you know,
let yourself feel it.
People are attracted to permission. If someone gives themselves permission to be okay with who they are, that's really attractive. We love that. You know, Bob Dylan. You know, how many singers that they really are not great singers, but you just love them because they're comfortable in their own skin,
and they mean
that is that's what's attractive. So I don't know how we got into that conversation, but yeah, there you go.
It's in my opinion, it's really relevant, man. It's especially with me just now breaking into this. You know, that's good advice in my opinion. You know, I think it's really relevant. I agree with you too. You know, the best art is made out of the guys that broke the rules. And I'm about to sound like an absolute Nirvana obsessed maniac here, but you mentioned being a musician. Like, look at the chord progressions Kurt Cobain did. They broke every rule of music theory. And if I would have tried to write that music, it would have sounded like shit. He doesn't follow music theory. He'll be changing keys between 3 notes and doesn't give a damn. And look at it, all #1 hits. And a music theorist would have seen that music he wrote and said, no, you can't do that. That sounds like shit. That's not how that's supposed to sound. But he didn't listen to that. He didn't learn that. And look at that.
Yeah. This is how I hear it. You know, I mean, I was watching the Nirvana movie, and, you know, his lyrics were all train of thought. So most of them never made any fucking sense. They've tried logic, and they said, well, you know, what do your lyrics mean? He goes, this is not what and it was a funny way how he got out of it. And I've always gone to school with this. He goes, it's not what I think, it's what the people listening think it means. Yeah, I thought, which was a brilliant sidestep, because I get it. I totally get it. I totally get it.
Open to interpretation, I guess, as they say.
Hopefully.
But it's like that with the arts in general. And I'm going to take that to heart that you said that about this career as well. You know, you're right. I think that the greatest art is made when you just kind of break the chain and do what you're feeling, you know?
Well, everybody has their own individual way of speaking. Everybody has their own individual way of flowing and the cadence that they speak in and everything else, whether you're extremely hyper intelligent and super thoughtful in how you speak, or you're slow and methodical and you have to think of every single word that you say because you may be an idiot. It's like it's absolutely interesting to see that that's more in depth and more wanted in the industry than what just somebody can read words off a piece of paper, because I think everybody can do that.
I was asking him about when he got started in the industry, Zach, and I noticed that you had had a question prepared for him. You want me to
Yeah.
ask
Hey,
it?
Void, are you okay? I mean, you're
I'm
sitting
really
there-
high. I'm sorry, man. I just kind of let you guys talk.
It was like this last week too, man. Don't worry. He's a good guy and he's enjoying the conversation.
I didn't say, like, is there something? Is he like a monitor? Is he with the?
No, I'm also no, man.
He's
Also,
zoning.
like, I've been a really big fan of you since like I was like, I don't know, like 11 years old. Since I think that's when I first played
I'm doing this a
Black
while,
Ops
brother.
1.
Yeah.
So just like big fan.
Oh well, thank you. Appreciate that. Appreciate it.
So, how did you transition in between hockey to being a voice actor? Because I think that because there's no overlap in between those two things, it would
At
be
all.
really kind of interesting to hear.
To the uninitiated, yes, that would seem true, but the elements of success are the same no matter what you're doing. If you're an actor, if you're a writer, a musician, or a hockey player, you have to be able to enjoy the drill, enjoy repetition. You have to enjoy getting in and making mistakes. You've got to embrace your mistakes. You got to treat it as a lifestyle. And this is something that I knew as a hockey coach. I was a hockey coach for 20 years, and it's a lifestyle. It's something that you do every day, and you don't have to. I say, be like this. You take your fist, squeeze your fist, harder. Come on, harder.
Ugh.
Is that the best you can do? All right, now let go.
Unfortunately.
Let go. Let go.
Ah,
Which is easier?
Letting go.
shit, let him go, definitely.
Okay. And that's all you need to know about being successful. Let go. When you feel yourself trying to get it right, you're in a bad place. And so when I became an actor, I transitioned everything I knew about being an athlete into being an actor. And I'm educated. I went to college, so I know how to handle money a little bit. So I designed a plan to give myself a few years to get up and running because I knew I needed practice. I knew that I needed to experiment in a safe place where I could make a lot of mistakes without consequence. Because, and so I made a 1.5-year plan and I followed through on it. Voice acting is not something I actually do. I mean, I would love to do more of it, but the Woods
More
character,
acting, huh?
Woods character, it's all live action. I had more time on the in the motion capture studio than I did in the booth because it's all live action, voice, face, and body.
Oh, so they really did mocap you for it.
Well, it was the first time they've ever done performance cap, not just motion, but they added the voice. That's when you put the microphones on and stuff, like what Avatar did. So Woods was in fact, I got the job because I auditioned for a role of testing the technology for doing this thing. And then they liked me, so they kept me around to do some actual level tests for the game. And the character was Frank Barnes. And I shot 3 of those with them and then it disappeared. But I did very little voice work. I mean, but I've done like 3 jobs that are actually voiceover jobs. I don't do a lot of voiceover.
Wow.
Work. Yeah.
And yet that's the one that you come in here and Void is so hyped about that
It's
the
just
relatively minuscule section of your career.
I think what makes the character interesting, like I said before, is why he is compelling. And it's not because it's not because he screams and yells, but it's the depth of the communication that we're trying to establish. Like Woods will never, ever, ever be shame you. It's always about, hey, you can fucking do this. Good to fucking know. It's always because as a coach, I remember, negative coaching never worked. Hey, you can fucking do this. I need you. I need you strong. I need you out there. Get it fucking going. You got this. You blow wind and you blow air in the wind. You don't take it out. And when we were working on Woods, I made it. There's things I wouldn't say. So I'm not fucking saying that. And I didn't know enough to know how big the dragon was I was trying to fight with. But I said, fuck, I'm not fucking saying this. And I would just go off book and that. But I had a benefactor who stood up for me. They would have fired me. If one guy wasn't there taking care of me, they would have fired me in a heartbeat. It's a pain in the ass. I'm not fucking saying that. No, Woods wouldn't fucking say that.
Like, what the hell? It's the script.
Well,
Yeah.
I had like I didn't know the waters I was swimming in. I had no idea how big the video game industry was. I didn't know anything about call. I almost didn't take the job. You know, I was
Wow.
like, yeah. My manager said, well, okay, what is like? I have a commercial of this. They want to do this video game thing. He goes, what is that? Beauty does duty. What is it? What the fuck? He goes, Call of Duty. Yeah, Call of Duty. He goes, what are you fucking stupid? Take the fucking, and that's how it happened. Darwin. I was
Biggest
gonna
game in the world.
I
Biggest game in the world.
I had no idea what it was. So,
Well, I mean, Call of Duty as a whole, which probably still isn't the biggest game in the world, but it's damn sure. I would think it's one of them. It's got to be one of the most
It's up
successful
there.
game
Well,
franchises of all time.
it's a juggernaut. Even people who don't play know the game.
Exactly. That's what I meant, kind of. You
Yeah.
know, everybody knows of Call of Duty. My
Everybody
main game is
knows
so
Yankee.
obscure that people my age don't know it. So
Everybody knows the Yankees. Maybe they don't see them play, but they know who the Yankees are, right?
Exactly.
Mhm. That's true.
Yeah.
I have a serious question, and it might just be your accent, and I would hope you would take it as a compliment because I would. Has anybody ever told you that, and I think it's the accent, you kind of sound like Billy West?
I don't know Billy West.
Billy West, he did a bunch of Futurama and all the Bugs Bunny in the last couple of years, but his natural speaking voice, I think it's more the accent that I'm picking up on, honestly, because I'm from the South. So even just your slight accent, you know, I pick up on it, and Billy West has one as well.
My accent's a mess. It's Western Mass, which is very, we drop a lot of consonants. We're slightly Boston. And I got a whole bunch of New York in there, very sloppy, very like, you know, I don't really finish some of my sentences, and my ahs, you know, and an egg. So I had this messy vernacular.
But it probably helped you become more of a linguistic chameleon later on for, you know, acting and.
You give me way too much credit. If you've seen anything I meant, I pretty much been playing the same kind of guy. You know, all my TV shows have been, all the movies. It's always that authority, hard ass, you know, often well intentioned but often misunderstood. That guy who's he's your coach. He's an authority figure. He's in command. He's going to
People think he's a little rougher than he really is, but he's got a heart of gold in there.
Yeah,
There
exactly.
you go. These are the characters I play a lot of. You know, Hawaii Five-0, Cold Water. I mean, all these things. Same guy, basically.
But that means that you're the one that's, you know, it's your success, I suppose, if you will, because like you said, that's lessons that you learned from being a hockey coach about, you know, getting in there, and even if you got to show a little tough love, you know, really being about the positivity more so than anything, you know, at the core, but still being willing to be a little tough if you need to, you know, and that's kind of what you said before about hockey. And if you've been put in that character, maybe not a weird coincidence, your world experience is showing up in your art. You know?
Exactly.
Well, basically, you as an actor, unless you're a star, and even when you're a star, you're hired basically on your arc, on your essence, who you are. They don't take a chance in hiring an actor to play, you know, in the bigger parts, yes, but on TV shows, they're not going to take a chance on me, have me play a gay guy. They're not going to take a chance on it, you know, especially if he's flamboyant. I can do it, but there's a guy out there who's flamboyant who's going to crush it. So,
Exactly.
so they cast
They
according to
typecast you.
Well, and it has because it's such a high pressure environment that they can't have your acting fail. Like you just got to walk in and say the lines and get out. Like as a guest star or recurring guy, you got to walk in, knock it out in 1 or 2 takes tops. Because if you get stuck. I've seen people get fired from shows because they couldn't get their lines out. I mean, I was a pilot a few years ago, and this guy kept blowing this line about, you know, I don't believe the Chinese have stealth capabilities. He couldn't get it out. I mean, it took, and the director took him aside, and they called it, and then next day he was gone. He's gone.
Wow,
Yeah.
over a line.
Yes, because it's like you're not important enough to be costing every take is $10,000. So you're not important enough to the show. You're secondary. You're a tertiary character, and you're holding things up. So that's
you're nobody. Yeah. Whereas if it's Brad Pitt, they'd be like, "Can we get you a script, sir?" You know.
Well, I mean, it's different. You know, you got to give them a bigger berth, and so that's kind of the battle. You got to know what your position is too. Like what am I? What is my role here? What is my job? You know, which is why I'm saying all the great stuff I've done is because I kind of stepped out of that implied limitation. Like on TV shows, if you go off book, it's like you've raped the hamster. I mean, it's not acceptable because they clear it right through up to network. So if you if you change a line, if you drop a line, you know, she is there. If I say, well, she's there. Wait. The line is she is there. Oh, yeah, she's there. No, she is there. I mean, that I've had those conversations. Yeah. Okay,
Wow.
yeah. I mean, that's why you got to be a craftsman at this, because there's so many things that, and you can't look at them as being petty, because it's a big deal. It's a lot of people's jobs, and you've got to make sure that, you know, if you want to work again for them, then you better make sure that you hit your mark, stay in line, get one take, and then get coverage and moving on. They love that.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
I will also say that I did do theater only in high school growing up, but I mean, from the time that I was like a little kid, really. But for what it's worth, the school that I went to has probably the most prestigious acting and theater department in America. They go to a global competition every year and all kinds of stuff. I didn't get to go to it because I got in trouble. But you know, something that I'm not really sure how to word it. I guess that they said that the voice or the actor is the bottom of the totem pole in the production. You know, like you got the script writers, and you got the makeup artists, and you got the guys doing this, and in your case, you know, the directors and the camera guys and all this, and you got just the face of it, if you will. And basically that you are completely replaceable if you don't have a name, you know, and that you're at the bottom of the totem pole out of all the important things going on. And it's also our job to bring their vision to life. You know what I mean?
You get paid for two things as an actor. The first one is you get paid for your ability to tell a story, to take the story from point A to point B. If you do that well, you can make a living at it. The other thing you get paid for is drawing attention to a project. If you're the reason people are coming to the movie, then you have a career, because now people want to see your movies. People want to show up. You are visible. You have what's called, you're bankable. That's a career. Everything else is we're day laborers. Even if you have a recurring role, you're still day labor. Your job's going to be over in a year or two, whatever. It's not permanent. You know, so it's interesting business, and it's not for. It is funny. You've got to be vulnerable in what you do, but you got to have really thick skin in dealing with what's around what you do, or all the opinions about it, or the ignorance. Like people, you know, till the day she died, my mother had no idea what I did. She had no clue. I have a story I tell all the time. I think Black Ops 2 had come out, and my mother still had no idea what I was like. I was everywhere at this point. Black Ops 1, 2, I was like doing press all over the world and shit. Yeah. And, you know, doing even the local newspapers, all the stuff. And I get a call around Christmas, and my mom calls me up. She says, "Hey, Jim, your cousin Ted's here. What's that pinball game you play?" I go, "What?" She goes, "You know, the pinball game you play pinball, right, on TV?" I go, "Pinball game? You mean the video game?" "Yeah, that pinball game." I go,
pinball.
"Mom, it's a video game." "Well, hey, talk to your cousin Teddy about it." You know, like, oh, Mom. And that it never, and it in my career, you know, I bought her a house and a car. You know, it was like something that she benefited.
Actually, genuinely affected what she did.
No idea what I did.
Where she was.
That's awesome.
You see me on commercials. Like, "I saw your commercial this morning." "Okay, Mom. I didn't like your hair. I didn't like your hair." Mom.
Your hair looked bad in that commercial.
Mom, I'm a war veteran.
At least you know you made it.
Mom, I'm a soldier.
And she has some feedback on you.
Sir, this is Wendy's.
So this is a Wendy's. The one that I wanted to ask you that I wrote down was, and I think you talked about this earlier about just kind of showing up, doing what you do, and then getting out. So I feel like maybe you've already kind of brushed on it, but have you ever felt inspired to write your own script or characters or branch into any character development? Or are you more happy with being like the voice of the operation and just giving a great performance?
Well, I mean, I wrote most of Wood's dialogue.
Really?
I wrote most of it. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I wrote some.
So you've already brushed with that then. Also, by the way, I wrote that before I was aware of the fact that you consider voice to be a very small part of your career, you know?
Yeah. It's
needless to say, when when you Google you, bro, it's Woods everywhere.
That's the most predominant thing. That and Viagra. But
oh good.
Yeah, I'm in a Viagra campaign, ran for like 5 years.
Sick.
It literally changed my life.
Were
Financially.
you on a clock?
Huh?
Were you on a clock by chance?
No, I was the guy in the green Camaro. Believe
No
me,
fucking way. I remember those commercials. No way.
So do I.
That's me, yeah.
I remember those.
That's
Back when I
crazy.
dyed my
Wait,
hair.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah,
that was
I
me.
remember that. The Viagra
The
commercials.
green
Yeah.
Camaro. Yeah. So that bought my mom a new house.
I was about to
the
say, you
joke
said
is-
that changed your life, huh?
Yeah. The joke is my flaccid member bought my mother a house. That was the joke. Yeah.
It ain't too damn flaccid. It bought a fucking house.
Yeah. So
That's
It was
sick.
on
man.
Viagra. Who gives a
So-
fuck?
it wasn't an expensive house. Okay. It's not some fucking
So?
mansion. It's a
It's still a house.
You bought a house,
It
man.
doesn't matter if it's a one
side by
bedroom
side near a
fucking trailer.
pond. It wasn't
Yeah, I
that
don't care if it was in Harlem, bro. That's sick.
yeah.
Or whatever the worst areas are supposed to be. I don't know. I act like I'm a native. I don't know
And
anything.
the car I bought was a 2012 Subaru. So it wasn't, it was a
Ballin'.
2008 Subaru. Or it was
Still
you
buying
got the
cars and
whip.
houses. Yeah, I mean, you still had the whip.
but
You're
it
still
was-
making cars and
yeah,
houses.
I don't want to sound too grandiose here. It wasn't like she has a mansion in Beverly Hills.
Well, still, man.
Yeah.
No, even if you're spending 40, 50, 60K on something for your parents and just dropping it down, who in the grand scheme of things is like, oh, you didn't spend enough?
Right.
Have you met
Like
my
you
family?
still,
You didn't spend enough on me, ass. I
oh,
bought you a house. I mean, you ever heard the phrase, don't look a gift horse in the mouth? That was recently explained to me what that actually means, and I was very impressed with that phrase. Apparently, back in the day when you got a horse, the way to tell its age or its health in general was to count the teeth that it had. And
Yes.
so when someone says, don't look a gift horse in the mouth, it means if somebody gave you a horse for free, why the hell are you over here counting the teeth? You know what I mean? You shouldn't be worried about it. It was free.
I have a horse travel related piece of information. I'll be there with bells on. Know that saying? I'll be there with bells on.
Yes.
Okay, so from what I've read, this is what I actually have this in my house. I have a little plaque that says this. So basically, when there were what are they called, sleds and sleighs and things.
Yeah.
They had these bells, and if you got into trouble someplace, somebody helps you out, you give them this bell as a gift. So when you arrive at someone's house and with bells on, it means you had no problem getting there, and so that you didn't give your bells away. Now okay. I read it. It sounds really romantic and funny. I'm not sure if it's true, but it's kind of a fun story.
yeah.
I like it. That sounds feasible to me.
Yeah.
I always thought it meant I'm going to get there and be really excited to be there is what I honestly thought that it meant. I thought it meant like I'm going to be there and really happy to be there. Like I'm so thrilled.
Ringing bells. Hey, I'm ringing the bells.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Like I'll be there with bells on. Like, hey, what up? But no, I was wrong. People weren't partying to see me. They just meant I know where you live.
I'll be there in a good mood because I didn't have to kill my horse on the way or something like that.
Yeah, I didn't have to give away any bells.
Woods, there are millions of different properties and stuff like that. And I think that this is a great question for everybody, especially with what Josh is doing now. What's something that you want to push your voice onto? Like what property do you want to actually be able to have a voice roll in or have a roll in?
What would you like to be involved in for content? If you were doing voice, I guess, as opposed to acting.
How about the TV show Yellowstone? I'd like to be in that.
My dad loves that.
Yeah, Yellowstone. I'd love to be on that. I'd love to be on the 1883, the spinoff on that.
Yeah,
my dad loves that too.
And I'd love to get a big campaign for like a commercial. Again, I don't do a lot of voice acting work. When it comes to me, I take it great. Yakuza came. They offered it to me. I took it. Yakuza, right? Didn't make a ton of money on it. It was fun to do. But the voice acting is not highly lucrative in comparative unless you get commercial gigs. So, there's probably 30 people in LA who do most of the work. So breaking in is tough. I just finished a class on it. I'm building that part of my my skill set up. But for me, it's always about acting roles. And Yellowstone, I'd love to be in Yellowstone or something of that nature. And there's so many gritty, kind of interesting shows on TV, like Mayor of Kingstown. Anything written by Taylor Sheridan, anything at all. I love Taylor Sheridan. He's brilliant. So that's what I really am. I have my sight set on those kind of things.
Josh, what would you want to put your voice to?
I don't know, man. Throw me in Family Guy or something. I don't know. Something Something that's just gonna
Well,
pay me a lot to have a good time and, and chill. I don't
You
know.
would definitely work in Family Guy. You got that Southern thing. You know, you got this Southern resonance. That would work absolutely.
They would put me on some crowd idiot every single episode. Hey,
Exactly.
Peter Griffin crashed his car into the store or something. Every single episode, I'd be that guy.
Or are you playing a horse or something?
Yeah, some random.
He would be the jackass.
I'll be the Phil guy. I'll take that. Look, I'll set my sights high but low at the same time, like Family Guy, but just the fill-in guy. You know, like when they got a random crowd guy interjecting something.
Or like
I'll be greased up deaf guy. That's an easy one. Greased up deaf guy, the voice actor for that. Come on, he just runs around and goes. That's a great one.
Or they'll just make you a jackass that just randomly cuts in where it's not supposed to happen. Bye.
I'd be cool with it, dude.
Tell me.
But no, like as far as my own personal interest goes, if I was gonna be a voice actor in something, like I guess specifically voice, oh man, I don't know. I feel like all my favorite shows are all like dead now, so I'd have to think about something that was like good career wise. I have no idea, man. You know what? They can give me a spot on Coco Melon. Them sons of bitches making $450 billion a year. They can just let me come voice on YouTube. I don't care.
I would love to do something with Zelda.
Because then I can tell Lennon later on, like, you were watching this. That's what I was going to say originally, but they don't really do much voice acting. But they did, I guess, in Breath of the Wild.
I'm trying to think. I guess Rick and Morty. It's like my favorite animated show.
That'd be a good one to get. I think there's only like 3 people that do those voices, though, isn't it?
Exactly,
like a dude and like a girl.
That's the main. That's the main brag about it. It's like, yeah,
they do it all themselves.
Voice acted on Rick and
But
Morty.
if they come out with an animated show about Zelda, that would be fucking fantastic.
They did once in the 80s. It was bad.
He did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They need to come out.
Cartoon with Link with brown hair. It was really, really bad.
Yeah.
How does that work?
Okay. So, has everybody heard of EDP 445?
No.
Oh,
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So, Josh, do you want to lay it out or do you want me to lay it out?
I don't really know that much about it except for like a Charlie video. He is a really popular YouTuber that was found to be attempting to have sex with a 14-year-old, I want to say it was.
Yes.
He has now been charged and is awaiting sentencing, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if he pled guilty or not. He might not be awaiting sentencing. Let me not libel or slander here. He was arrested for it, and it's looking pretty serious.
Yeah, they tried to do a catching a predator mock-up on YouTube.
And caught him.
Yeah.
Massive YouTuber, extremely millionaire, incredibly successful dude.
not a millionaire.
Bro,
No,
I think you're
no,
on a plane.
$200,000.
He's not
He's not
the
a millionaire.
guy.
There's no way with that kind of ad revenue.
No.
He's not the guy that was going around during the riots, right? Breaking windows and shit and stealing stuff, looting.
No, that was
No,
Jake
that's
Paul.
Jake Paul.
No, that was
This
one of the
dude's
Paul
much
brothers.
smaller. This dude just sits here and argues about how good the Eagles are at football, and had like, I guess he had 170 million views. Somebody just posted in the chat.
Oh, okay, yeah, he's probably not a millionaire then. I thought it would be much higher than that. I was thinking $500 million or so.
So he
But
probably
like I said, I didn't know him.
So this dude is now in jail for massive problems with child sex ring bullshit. And somehow they got his bank information to see how much money he had left. He had $3,000 left. He sold one of his cars because he had 2 cars. And now he's living on his last $3,000 in jail.
That goes a long way in there, to be fair.
What
He
happens
deserves
to
to rot.
EDP in jail?
Depends on where they send him, to be honest with you. James, do you go by Jim, by the way, or do you go by James? Do you have a preference?
James, yeah.
James, this is going to be totally random, and this podcast is about you. The guys listening will already know this. I served a term of incarceration for 6 years over a stupid prank that I did on the internet when I was 19, and I ended up going to federal prison for a really long time. So
What?
if I randomly sound, man, I was playing a video game, the same video game that I now make a living playing, by the way.
Here we go,
And,
boys.
Yeah, it's probably going to happen almost every episode, guys, because when I start talking about prison, like it's going to come up at some point during the
Well,
podcast.
exactly.
You know? And then
you
nobody's going
call
to look
the-
at me and not stop and go, hold up, did you just say you went to prison? What'd you say, James?
So what would you was it? Did you like call the FBI and somebody? Did you do a SWAT thing? Did you SWAT somebody?
I was playing a video game and my friend was trying to get me to download a different game that makes fun of the Columbine shooting. And I told him no. And another player said, if you like Columbine, you should call me on the phone and kill yourself, dumbass. And I said, bro, I absolutely love Columbine. I can't wait to go Columbine it's 6 months from now, bro. I'm going crazy. And the day was a Saturday. And I didn't have even a BB gun in my home. And I had no money or drawings or like literally any physical evidence whatsoever except for me saying this on a game where your text disappears in 10 seconds to some random kid on the internet. And he reported me to the game company, and they contacted the police. And 4 days later, the FBI, the ATF, the bomb squad all showed up at my house. Ended up being sentenced to 72 months. That's the only reason that I have any notability on the internet.
What were you convicted of? What were you convicted
Transmitting
of?
threats to destroy buildings by means of fire and explosives. And I had a count drop that was transmitting threats to kill and injure the person of another or cause serious bodily harm. Domestic terrorism. Yeah, it's a domestic terrorism charge. I could have been hit with the Terrorism Act or whatever and gotten 20 years technically, but they only gave me 6. But the reason that I have any notoriety at all on the internet is because I'm the dude that went to prison for talking shit on video games.
How long did you go for? How were you in for? How many years?
I did 5 years initially. I got out, smoked a joint, and went back for another year. Combine that with about 9 months of halfway house and 4 or 5 months of ankle bracelet. I mean, what is that? 7 and some change, 7 years and some change.
You spent 5 years in prison
for talking trash on a video game. Yeah, they made a real big example out of me.
You think?
In 2012 is when I said it. Was October of 2012. Between then and my sentencing, like 42 mass shootings happened in America. So it's pretty obvious that when I got up there, it was the chopping block.
You are just wasting your talent. This is what you should be fucking write your movie, dude. Like this is a fucking story. Like, this is a character that make this character. This is the guy I want to. This guy here. Wow.
I had plans to write a book, bro, and I just can't sit down and crank it out. And I need to before the memories start to fade.
Bring this fucker into the audition. I mean, you gotta be. I'd be so pissed. I'd be fucking livid about that. It's so like there's people out there doing horrible shit, and you for what? Because you're a gamer. My buddy Jeff Leach get caught in that shit too. You know Jeff Leach?
I know the name. Yeah,
he's Ghost from Call of Duty.
That's why.
That's why I know his name.
Yep.
Yeah, and he got in a little bit of trouble with some girl came on and was just giving him shit. And he's a stand-up comedian. You know, he's a funny dude. And you harass him, he'll poke you. You poke him, he'll pokes back.
Heckling,
and these people are giving him a hard time, and they kind of set him up, and they got him. Anyways, he's one of the best dudes I know. He's a great fucking dude, and to see him go through the shitty.
He called her a fat cunt, and he got removed from Call of Duty. Yeah, it was something like that.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I get that that's not the most clever roast, but like to get dropped from your franchise for that.
No, it was like 6 or 7 years ago that it happened.
The franchise didn't drop him for that. He was already not working. They had already severed ties. They just said they were in the future. They didn't fire him. They
blacklisted him.
There's no virtue posturing there. They're virtue posturing. They had already had the disagreement and separated. I can't talk about Just Life, but so I do know that. So I don't want to be said that Activision fired him for that. That's not what happened.
Okay, I misunderstood.
But my
you got blacklisted for it though.
Yeah.
My point is he's just one of the most stand-up dudes I know, but because of this fucking environment we got, you get shot at. You know, it's ridiculous. Well, I would love to see you bring that guy the guy who was in year 2.5 in prison, bring him to fucking light. What's going on with him, man? That's the guy I want to have on my show. That's the guy I want to see on my TV show.
That's who I was being on the podcast where I got invited to come do the voice acting role. So I guess he saw something in me, you know. So my buddy Frank now, he's a good friend of mine now, but I didn't know him from dirt then, you know, and he said, I see potential in you.
And how old are you?
I'm 29 now. I know I don't look like it.
Yeah, he looks younger than me.
Good for you.
Yeah, I'm 29. I typically don't keep my Bieber hair like this, but I recently moved to New Orleans and I only like get my hair cut by one person. So I'm a little overdue now.
You know, man.
I look a little older. I look about 17 when I cut my hair.
Turn this shit into gold, man. This is gold. I would build a whole fucking YouTube network about this stuff, about become a conservative talk show host. Because, man, I'm pissed off just knowing it. I just think it's fucking awful. What an injustice, you know?
I will say that it's not quite as black and white exactly as I can give in a brief description, you know? I was an alcoholic real bad already by the age of 19. I was not working a job. I was a bum. But I damn sure was not a school shooter. And for what it's worth, for a fun fact, and this for everybody in the chat that doesn't know this, I had no less than 3 mental evaluations. 3 that I was forced to undergo, and all 3 of them said not a danger to society or to himself.
Yeah,
FBI doesn't care about any of that.
You're just somebody who's made some questionable decisions. You weren't dangerous, only to a
Exactly.
six pack of Miller Lite. And that's
That's about as far as I went.
I know dozens of guys like you. You're fucking harmless. My buddy Darwin is harmless. He's sweetest man I know, but he's he likes to talk, and
popped off
come on my show. He come on my show and started saying shit. I go, dude, I used to laugh about it. I go, dude, you can't say that. You just fucking can't, because
there's lines. I found out.
There's so many jokes that are like, oh my God, this would be hilarious in just a setting where we're sitting in a room. But I sit here and I tell the joke online, and it's like, oh fuck, cancel them. Nobody fucking cares.
Well,
when I was writing
guidelines,
Twitch has its guidelines.
I was writing for Black Ops 4, the specialist HQ training. Did you guys do that? All right, Black Ops 4. The biggest missed fun was going through the training. I wrote the whole thing. It's Woods training you on everything and how to play the game.
I remember that.
I wrote all this crazy, funny shit. It's just like they let me loose. They used to go and they sent me a doc in the morning. I would just write it up, and I wrote this, like 5 hours of content, and I had so much stuff rejected. Oh my God, the stuff that was really funny. No, can't say that. Why can't I say this? I had a line.
Why can't I say "get off your ass, douchebag"? We got to fight.
Can't say douchebag. Can't say douchebag.
Douchebag is bad.
One that's funny, I guess, that got rejected was like, I took him out like a Tijuana dentist.
Okay.
Funny, right? Isn't that funny?
It's funny, yeah. I can see Tijuanans not thinking it's funny, but I thought it was funny.
Yeah. You take him out like a Tijuana dentist, and like that was, they just, you can't have that.
They were like, nah, that one's too far.
And like, you're coming from it, like the game is coming from an age where it's about Korea and fucking, what is it, Vietnam. How the fuck is there not jokes like that in there? Like, honestly,
that's kind of a good point, I guess.
They are, because it was language that was used, and we're not even allowed to say it on your show right now.
Right.
Yeah.
Some of the
stuff. G word. You can't say the G word.
Yeah. The G word's what came to mind with me. As soon as you said that, I was thinking about when I was in county jail and I was walking to visitation. I had a CO with me, an old man, and I had a trustee with me, the dude that worked in the kitchen. We were walking, and he was like, man, I can't. My trustee was, man, I'm sick of jail, dude. I got to get out of here, man. This is my 4th time in jail in 2 years, man. I'm sick of this. I got to get my life together. Hey, what were? I bet you were doing good whenever you were my age. I'm 30. Or no, he said, you were doing good when you were my age, huh? And he was like, how old are you? He said, I was 30. He said, nah, I was killing. And he said the G word. and it was so casual. Like he just said it just casual. It dropped a hard slur right there in the middle of jail's not exactly the place to bitch about slurs, of course, but I was still kind of like, damn, it's just a generational thing with this guy. He just popped that like he was calling you by name, He said, you were probably doing good at 30, right? How old are you? 30? Nah, I was killing.
Yep.
Oh, okay, Frank. Shit. Bye. Thanks for dropping me off visitation. I'm going to go talk to my mom, dog.
It's probably a reason you're in here 4 different times, because you're in Vietnam doing fucked up shit.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
You would think that those people would be the ones that we'd protect the most, the ones that sat there and fought for us when they didn't want to.
I guess that's a good point. Yeah, consider there was a draft. Yeah.
You would think that they would be the ones that would come home to houses built for them and everything else.
They got spit on, apparently, especially according to Allison Chains' version of it. Apparently, the Vietnam War people came back, got spit on for, killing Asian people, and were not revered at all, even though they got drafted. But I don't mean to get political or anything like that, but I did find it very funny to do just casually dropped it. So you're right. You would think that with them being, I guess that being, what's the word? Politically correct is more important to them than historical accuracy in that regard.
No, I hate defending corporate America, but I do know certain things that I can say. Like, I know that I was a stockholder with Activision for, because I believed in what I was working in. And so I get to sit in, I would sit in stockholder meetings, and unless you've been around people who are investors and see the lascivious vitriol, the toxic anger, the fucking stock price dropped 14%. We're gonna buy the. I mean, it's like the company is fighting for its life constantly because it has to keep up its stock value or a dividend. And so there's this need to create a thing, a content that serves the audience, but also is profitable because it's a huge machine that's got to be constantly fed. So
It's weird though, because you have the disparity in movies and stuff that have to be historically accurate for people to enjoy them. But a video game that you're going to be enjoying and stuff like that, you can't have talk about the Tijuana dentistry office.
There is no movie that's ever accurate. It is all a POV, a point of view. It's from the writer's point of view. Right now we're changing history. Remember, history, you can't prove anything from the past.
Nope.
Who wrote the book? The
winners.
The winners.
Book. And now the loser's writing the book. Is that any more trustworthy? Just because it's contrary? Just think about being contrarian seems to be a livelihood for most people. How do I become a contrary? If I'm contrary, then I can be sort of vital. I can be purpose. And say, well, all right, just because it's contrary doesn't mean it's true. And how do you prove anything? It's really a difficult thing to do. And even today, if you see something, right, you have deep fake. There's shit out there that is that me? I get sent things all the time, and someone sent me this little, trying to be funny, sent me a porno clip of my face, and I go, "Are you fucking kidding me? I'll beat you, find you and beat you fucking senseless." Destroyed that because
it was easy for him.
Yep.
Well, that's the thing, and.
Well, there's apps on cell phones now that you're able to do it with. It's not even.
So how do you prove anything? I edit. I know how easy it is to make things look. Camera angles. A camera angle can change everything. Or where you cut it, how you cut it. So finding the truth is a very, very, very difficult job. It's always been difficult, but now it's more difficult because now we have the capability of creating misinformation. Disinformation.
That blew up while I was inside, I can say. It was interesting to come out to. I came out to a very different climate. I could say that
I'm sure coming out of jail, when you go in and there's like some people have computers, and then you come out and everybody has computers and everybody knows how to edit video.
Right. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. I mean, when I went in, it was 2012. It wasn't quite the Stone Ages. Everybody had Facebook, but like the sense of humor that is now mainstream on the internet, like the epic font, and like the memes and all that shit that's super mainstream now, back then was only on 4chan and what was stolen and put on Reddit.
Yep.
So yeah, the internet was definitely not mainstream like it is now, where like, my mom hangs out on my Twitch chat and shit.
Well, my mom doesn't even hang out on my Twitch chat.
Thing that makes like I get inundated with. I don't know how it ends up on my, I don't spend much time on Instagram like that, but because I keep getting inundated with these feeds of like these girls in really tight outfits dancing and, shaking their ass. And I'm sitting, I go, I didn't ask for this.
Right.
I don't want, and my girlfriend's like, why are you looking? I'm not. It's just, I'm not. It's just,
it just pops up.
I'm a faithful, happily married man. I feel your struggle, dude.
She has a daughter who came to my defense. Mom, he can't help it. That's just, why are you?
What Instagram is.
I'm trying to figure out how to scroll. It's just so that's.
The thing is that 90% of the time when they shove that in somebody's face, they're going to have longer time on the app because of that. So they just send it out there with everybody. Oh, they're new to Instagram. Send them a bunch of ass pics.
Exactly.
Make sure they don't spend a lot of time on here. Send them some ass pics. That'll keep them clicking.
Yeah, but I've been fucking with Google the last few weeks. I'll start like doing really just sort of random searches, like doing the other day for grub worms, like give me information on grub worms, and
it's awesome, isn't it?
And then all of a sudden, I started getting all these ads for different fertilizers. And
yep. Oh, that part. I thought you were talking about like the fact that we have the world of information at our fingertips, but we use it to watch cute cat videos.
Oh, to me, I am so, like, I wish I could be 29 years old again and have what's available. Like I do all my guitar classes online. I'm learning Logic online. I learned everything online, and it's just so easy. I have a new Ford F-150. Oh, you got a problem? Just go online. Oh, I know. It's amazing how easy it is. But the thing is, and this is the disease that I'm experiencing with a lot of people who are just coming into the world, is that you can't absorb it by watching. You got to do it. You can't just like my girlfriend's daughter wants to be a photographer. She says, I'm watching photography videos. Oh, no. You got to get Photoshop and get to work.
And do it.
Here, take this picture, do this.
Dude. I tell people this every day.
You got to get in there and you can't just watch a video and say, oh, I know it now. Why? Because I took a class in it. Well, did you do it? No, but I got a degree. Yeah, but can you fucking do it?
Right, yeah.
And
Degree doesn't mean a damn thing to me.
That's where the rubber hits the road. Go out there, mix it up, get it done, make some mistakes, see where your skills are lacking. Drill.
I tell people that all the time. I'll be, and I know this is a random instance to use, but I'm a Twitch streamer and I'll be fighting a boss on my video game, and everybody's like, oh man, you should watch this video and see, how this goes. And I'm like, first off, I already did watch that video. I watched it once and now I'm out here learning it. I watched it once just so I wouldn't make a bad enough mistake to instantly die. Exactly. And now I'm doing the more important part, which is practicing.
And there's crazy shit out there. Like there's fucking podcasting college courses now. Like
I need
who the fuck needs a podcasting college course to sit here and talk to a mic? Asking somebody questions and interviewing them and talking to them isn't hard. It's just understanding how the human capacity is.
And what I'm loving, and I'm watching all these click funnels, and all these ads are so great. If you're not making $5,000 a month, then move on from this channel. All this bullshit hook you approach. Like, well, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'll tell you what, I know more than them. Dude, are you listening to them? Stop. Listen to this one guy about testosterone. This kid is he's ripped, and this whole thing's about selling his stuff, and it's like his information is so fucking bad. And like every time I see one of these click funnels, it's like it's the same thing. Scare somebody. Tell somebody that they don't know what, or they're going to miss out. This is John Throckmorton. He was the #1 investment advisor for the Clintons. And this is his one time. If you don't do it today, you'll never get to hear this secret about cryptocurrency.
Or you walk out of a glass building and then they walk up to a Lamborghini and say, yeah, this is my Lamborghini. I did this by investing in Dogecoin 2 weeks ago. Now see where I am now.
The visual
now I'm a millionaire.
Clickbait.
And then there's the contrarians that they'll try to prove him wrong. Says that there's one exactly that is the two guys. Well, he's not real. We're real. See, I drive a Subaru, so I must be the real guy. Buy my course. And I'm like, you fucking guys,
Do you think you're any more authentic than the next guy?
Yeah.
Why should we trust you over him, for fuck's sake?
Because he's a contrarian. Yeah, they're lying to you.
Screw those big guys. I'm the little independent, edgy guy.
Exactly.
I'm just like you.
Oh my God.
Yep. I believe when I was in school learning about the different types of, I almost said propaganda, but advertisements, that was like one of the most popular ones that they use is like, your life sucks compared to mine, and this is how you can do it.
Yep. Yeah. Here. Well,
I've got the secret.
I love this stuff. This is like Christmas, like you have somebody, this pretty boy and this pretty girl come out and here, I bought you an $85,000 truck for Christmas. Who the fuck does that? Who buys?
Yeah.
Have
With
you
a bow
ever
on
heard
it?
anybody buying someone else a car for Christmas who wasn't some rich asshole? I mean, seriously,
right?
Buying someone a car for Christmas.
It's not a realistic thing for the average guy.
And it's like, oh, you kidding? Yeah, that's how. Sorry.
It's all good. So let me do a disclaimer. Numbers have changed. Viewers have changed. Yes, this is live. We normally do not interact with the chat because it completely distracts us with ADHD. And this is James C. Burns. This is Woods from Call of Duty Black Ops 1, 2, 4, and the handheld versions.
Yeah.
And many, many other works as well.
Yes.
Many other works as well.
I think you said Hawaii 5-0 earlier.
Yeah.
As I did a stint on 5-0. On Cold Case, I've been on.
Ooh, Cold Case, nice.
Yeah, I've been on a lot of stuff. But
how does it feel to have everybody always just say Woods? Is that okay?
I love it, man. It's like
I feel like that wouldn't bother me. I feel like I could have my big one, that's him.
It tells me who you are right away. Oh, you're a fan. Look at man, and this is not smoke. If I did not have fans, I wouldn't be talking to you guys.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have a career. right? The fact that I this had this gig for 11 years is like, I appreciate, and this is, I appreciate every single person who walks up to me and says hi to me. It's like, it's a big deal to me. It's like, that's
Every
what
time.
you work for that. It's connection. I've met people all over the world because of this character. I have, sure, most of my friends call me Woods. It's crazy. Woods.
That's cool.
Now, you sat here and built this character from the ground up. You wrote a lot of his lines. You wrote a lot of the story and that kind of stuff. Was it okay? First off, why don't you say what's changed about the character? Why don't you talk about like the things that they've done to the character Woods now, and how did that make you feel?
Didn't. I mean, not my business. Look I try to make this point. I have Woods is one. Let's say I have like a spectrum of things that I do. Woods is just one beam of lights that I do.
Yeah.
And my Woods is built on Woods. I know is built on me. It's built on my personality. Its chassis is mine. I mean, it was formed around my personality. I originated it. I was there from day one, and I was given a tremendous amount of freedom to take this character and mold it around me.
Right.
So and I really have like I don't how can I say this? When I hear somebody imitating me, it's flattery.
Yeah.
It's like, they're trying. They want to keep the character was so
Real
present.
to them.
Yeah, and who knows why they didn't bring me back? I have no idea. That's not for me to know. One day, somebody I'll get told. But the fact that they brought somebody in to try to imitate me, and he does a decent job. Now the character,
the writing will never be the same.
The writing's different because it's
not you.
They're missing the 11 years of experience. The only difference I have is I listen and watch. I go, oh my God, you know what? In this scene here, they could have called back to Black Ops 1, or they could have used this for connective tissue to tie in some stuff from Black Ops 2. It's in my head. It's all there. There's so many layers and levels from which I see and hear things. So I see opportunities that were lost, which is I said, hey, remember this? Instead of saying this, we could do this here because remember that, and that's how I used to go down on set. And, hey, listen, here's an idea. If I'm doing this and he's actually here, then why don't we connect it? And that way we can call it back later on. And that's what I see when the opportunities that were lost because no one has my experience with the character. It's just like 11 years. I think that there's a lot of new writers on this. I know Craig Houston's still there, but I don't know who else is there. And I think Craig is mostly for zombies anyways.
I'm going to go on a limb and assume it was to save money. They were like, you know what? James knows his value. We're just going to have to cut the loss.
No. Actually, they didn't. I actually took a pay cut to do Black Ops 4. So
really?
It wasn't.
So they knew that you were negotiable then.
I don't know. Again, I have no idea what happened. I found out about it about a week after the world found out about it. So I say, we love your stuff in Modern Warfare. What are you talking about? First, I thought they had harvested some of my old assets because I did thousands of lines.
Right, yeah.
At first, I thought it was that. So there's maybe a paycheck coming, hopefully. And then I found, well, no, that's not happening because I had my replica into it. So it was, it was interesting. I wasn't sure what happened there. Don't know.
Well, it's good that you don't seem too damn bothered by it, because you've got a storied career with a very, very wide spectrum, as you said. I mean, the way that I see it is, even if it's your biggest thing or whatever, same way that I view it as, being most known for it is just kind of like you've got other stuff, you got more going on than to be focused and overly focused on one tiny dimension out of this, huge sphere.
There's a thing I used to, when I was a coach, I used to get two things got me pissed off. Only two things. If you pouted, like if you went down and took a shot on net and you missed the net and you would pout and get angry, I'd go livid because you got to stay in the moment. You have a job to do. Once you take that shot, find the rebound or back check, you got a next thing to do. If you sit there and you get pissed off and you're lost, I can't tell you how many times I saw people miss opportunities because they're angry, upset because what didn't happen. And then the opposite, when they got so excited about what they did do, they missed the next opportunity because they're No, it's about staying focused on what you're doing and moving to the next thing. So I live by that. And
Good rule.
this character is there. And if it lands tomorrow, great. Like I'm talking to you guys. I'm not here as Woods, I'm here as Burns, That's the difference. So we're very similar, but I'm not here as Woods. I play Woods.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's the whole thing. It's just something I do and I've done. And if I do it again, great. If not, wow, what a great run. What am I doing next? I got a whole new movie thing coming up in the spring. So, it's
awesome,
like this
man.
it's life is good, man. Plus, I'm moving into music. That's what I'm doing now. I'm actually writing. I'm starting an album, and I'm moving into that.
Awesome,
Cool,
man.
Yeah. Like I think it would be interesting to build a character off myself, and then when it gets handed off to somebody else and they change it, I think that would affect me. Like I don't think I'd be as like stoic or impersonal about it as you are.
I like to think that I would be as stoic as him, but I'm with you, bro. He's got a lot more wisdom than we do.
Yeah, like
I'd be pissed.
But remember,
if they wanted to fire me, that's fine. But replacing me, I'd be salty. I respect
not
their
only
mindset.
not only did they replace him, and this is what I was trying to get you to go into, was they also changed the character. They're like, well, Woods is by now.
It has to change because it's not me playing it. The new actor doesn't have my experiences. The research I did to build this character is there's miles of it, and Woods is built on my chassis. So, and there's certainly like the word dipshit. You're from upstate New York. Dipshit. Yep. That's from Western Mass. Hey, dipshit. There's got to be a level of contempt and a level of sort of embracing when you use that line. It's sort of it's a term of endearment while you're insulting somebody. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So unless if you're just saying that, if you just, I heard it said this way and you imitate that, it's going to lack the depth. And that's, I think you may sense that. Like, I hate trying to do other people's work. I've done some like vocal matching, like for some stars and things. Yeah. And it's really hard to match the performance because I don't know what they're thinking or what they're doing. You can try to imitate the sound they were making. Like, you said this, but the emotion's not going to be there. It'll lack the performance element. And I think that's not on the actor. That has just the fact that you're asking somebody to sort of mimic another performance. And how do you transition your own onto that? Like James Bond, right? Or Spider-Man's or the Batmans. How many great Batmans have there been? Because they all made different Batmans. I mean, James Bonds. I mean, come on. You have how many great Bonds have there been? Yeah. Right? How many bad Bonds have there been? So the idea is that you always make the part your own, and somehow you make it. You kind of bring your own thing to it. So the new Woods is going to be different because it's not me doing it. It's going to be somebody else. They may be using the lines I use and some of the sort of the voice texture,
and the cadence, and
anybody can do that. But it's like it's not going to have. I'll give you an example. Like one of the lines, but the first line we did was "You can't kill me," and why? If you go back and listen to it after this, the reason it's so impactful is because Woods was he was trained he was SOG, S-O-G. He was trained at the School of the Americas down in Panama, and he was trained with neuro-linguistic programming, how to basically train people to do it's mind control, basically. And you would say things, you would plant just like in hustlers do this. This is a technique that's well known. And what Woods is doing in that moment when he says, "You can't kill me," is what he's saying is like he's trying to not defiant. He's not being a badass. He's saying he's trying to throw an idea into this guy's head so that
he can't do it.
He's distracted. No, he's distracted. He said, "Wait a minute, of course I can kill you. I got a gun. You got nothing." But the fact that he's thinking about that and not about what's going on means he's distracted. See, that's the genius of the line. So I'm trying to program him to be distracted in the moment just enough, because of course I can kill you. The minute he does that, I have an opportunity to do something because he's not paying attention to what's going on in the room. And that's the whole game that was being played at that table for Woods. If you see I have a video of that, and you see how that in the live action, you see that's exactly what's going on. I'm like dealing with everybody in the room, trying to create, this doubt or this kind of get them distracted, which is, and I learned that training. I've done some training with different military organizations that kind of inform me on this stuff. So
yeah, didn't you also have like a neighbor that was like SOG, a badass, and everything else that like helped you write the Woods character?
I think he's SOG. He's green. I think he's a Green Beret.
I probably got it wrong. I'm just remembering offhand from our first conversation.
Green Beret, yeah, not sure. Maybe I might. Sometimes when I talk, I think. No, I won't say his name. Yeah, he was. He's Green Beret. He's a Green Beret. Badass. He had a cousin who's a professional. He's a great athlete. And
did he help you with the shape of Woods?
He helped me with memories because we used to go fishing, and we kind of rural environment. And I remember in the summers, especially after a rain, I used to sell worms to fishermen.
Yeah.
And he used to buy and because I was always on the river, I knew where all the trout were because I knew when they stocked the trout, I knew where the trout would go. Yeah. So he used to follow me down, and then finally he said, "Hey, come on, let's go fishing." So we'd spend a lot of time together. And I remember he came back once about a year and a half after I'd grown up a little bit, and it's opening day, which is like April, and it's cold, man. The water's still freezing, there's ice in the water, and he steps and we're fishing, and he's got his BDUs on, his combat boots, and we're kind of standing on the shore, kind of you wait for opening day, you wait for sunrise, so you're all fitting there. And he's got his cigarette, whatever he's smoking, and he just takes his reel out, and in his boots and his beady, he steps into this freezing fucking river, and he starts fishing, like right before, like 15, 20 minutes before start time, and he goes, I don't even know fucking rules. And he got angry about having to wait for the sunrise, and then he was, he was standing, and he was like in freezing water and not even flinching. And and it was like, after that, I was like, we didn't spend much time together, but because he was fucked up, he got in a lot of trouble. But anyways, I remember that very clearly, like how he had changed in and he gave me like his helmet. He had a helmet, and he gave me his heavy canvas utility belts, canvas and iron rings on them, and he canteen. He gave me all that stuff. He used to run out and play arms with it. Yeah. Oh yeah, it was great.
That would be super cool.
Yeah.
I just remember his whole demeanor, like he was just nothing. Like he would sit there in this freezing water and then he flinched, like nothing. Like, wow, the fuck. I go, aren't you close? It's waterproof.
Nice. It's waterproof. Yeah. My grandpa used to always take me fishing.
No.
And I got a really cool story about my grandpa. It kind of fits in with the whole Vietnam kind of bullshit. So my grandpa used to work at IBM. Yes.
Wait, real quick before you do that, I'm sorry to do this, but I have to head off. Family just got home, and I gotta help them,
brother.
Carry shit in.
Go carry shit in. Make sure your mom's okay. We'll see you fucking next week, brother.
Much love.
Right,
boy. See you later.
Good talking to you, brother.
Oh shit!
Oh, that ain't the one.
Now. It gets ugly now.
Oh, I was making a real men talk shit mustache. Damn.
So my grandpa used to work at IBM, is what I was saying. And
computers?
Yes. Like back in the day, like early computers.
Yeah,
and,
when IBM was relevant.
Yeah. And they started working on the SR-71 and the B-2 bombers and putting computer chips in them and stuff like that. Now, he could never tell this story, but guess what? I fucking can. So...
Oh, great.
Yeah, he couldn't tell this story because he's under NDA. I can tell this story because he told me third party, and now I can tell it. So...
I think he can still get in trouble for that, because then they know he told you.
No, they have no idea who fucking told me. Sorry.
Oh, it wasn't him. Okay, I got you.
My last name's not the same, so it doesn't fucking matter.
I don't think they're listening. Go ahead.
Yeah, we didn't hear anything. Neither did anybody else.
So whatchamacallit? I'm bringing in another co-host. Give me 2 seconds. And whatchamacallit? He said he'll control himself. So we'll get him in here. And whatchamacallit? So New Year's Eve comes and everybody goes to a party. My grandpa's the only one that's working there that night. and everything kind of fucks up. He's like, oh shit, now I have to charter a plane. He has to charter a plane to come out of a small ass fucking upstate New York airport and everything else.
Yo,
What's up, man?
Smith's joining.
So he's sitting here trying to charter a plane coming out of Poughkeepsie, New York to go to fucking California to get fucking computer chips, put in the fucking B-2 bombers that were getting ready to fly out. So I guess, and I was like, this story is a fucking lie. Just 100% fucking lie. He walks up to his cabinet, says, Zach, the Secretary of Defense gave me this cup, and it's a fucking B-52 bomber cup. And I'm like, what the fuck? Where the fuck did that come from? Like, who the fuck genuinely just has a B-52 bomber cup just chilling there? He's like, one day you can have this. Like, that's fucking cool.
Yeah.
That's pretty sick.
So everybody, this is Myth. He's an extremely intelligent fucking dude. He plays chess and does crypto as a living.
I play chess and do crypto. Yes.
Interesting hobbies.
I've been on the podcast
Crypto,
before.
man. I'm fucking lost in the metaverse. I'm lost in digital real estate. I'm just fucking all over the place, man. I
don't know anything about that stuff, to be honest.
Do you own any crypto? So like I trade crypto for a living. That's what I do.
Yeah, I own a bunch. Like I take chances with my money, and sometimes I'm stupid with my money. Sometimes, and I have a lot of positions. I'd love to talk to you about it because I know a couple of things that are about to happen. I want to see if they can be.
I don't know if Zach's invited you to his Discord server, but I'm hanging out in there quite a bit. Like I'm glad to talk.
I was
to
wondering
about,
if you use Discord also.
Different position servers.
Right.
Yeah. So I mainly I worked a lot of jobs beforehand. I didn't grow up with money, which is a surprising thing for like a day trader. Usually they're come from pretty wealthy families, but like I built all my capital from working at a CNC shop and working at airports. And then like I just read a lot about all this and started trading and did pretty good on it. And I've made quite a bit of money for my age. I'm only 19. I'm going to be a predicted millionaire by 25 by the numbers I've ran. And like I've done a lot of things in this field.
Yeah, I to me, I'm too emotional. Like it's like I can't.
It's off the cuff.
I hang on to it. I'm not good at it. I get way too emotional. I'm an artist, so I'm like, fuck. Come on, you can. I'm talking to it. Come on, you can do it. You can do it.
So, in earlier this year, I think me and Woods were talking about it then too. Dogecoin was fucking going through the roof.
Yeah,
like just fucking exploding over and over and over again. And I had $5,000. The last $5,000 I had of my entire fucking workers' comp check. I was like, I need this money to fucking grow. I'm gonna try.
Didn't turn out good for you.
I made that $5,000 into 15, but I was retarded and continued to invest.
No.
That's where you should stop. Only thing I've ever done even remotely close.
I wish I was around then, Zach. I wish I was around at PKA then and could have found you.
Myth, what would your advice have been if you had been around?
I mean, I sold Dogecoin at basically its peak, about a couple $1,000s off its peak. And like I probably could have made Zach quite a bit of money instead of what I'm assuming he lost.
Why? What triggered you to say I need to sell this? What was it that...
So Dogecoin was interesting in with it had a huge backer like Elon Musk, but then he basically flipped against it, and that's what turned me off. And
the whole SNL skit and everything else.
Yeah.
That's where I got into trouble. I thought he was going to go on, and
I thought he was going to push it.
He's going to blow it up. I saw either he's going to blow it up or he's going to.
Or it's going to blow up.
I thought. Well, I thought he was going to. I thought he was going to like just defend it. Once he did that, it would just take off. So I bought a lot at high prices, and I got stuck.
Yeah, he was scared with his stockholders, and you could kind of see that beforehand, and he basically ruined the coin itself.
Yeah, and now it's dead.
Yeah.
It's not coming back.
Wait, we talking about Dogecoin?
what's
Still
that?
Dogecoin?
Yeah,
What's it at?
I think it's at 17 cents.
it's
Yeah, it's
somewhere
been-
around there.
I
I'd
think
have
I
to look
bought
it.
in and got like $10 worth of them for like 33 cents each. So
I
not that big of a
made
deal.
I made quite a bit off Dogecoin. Probably
17 cents.
close to like 20K. Maybe like 17K, more realistic, but
Closest thing I ever did to that was I got in on AMC at $13 and I sold at I think 88, but I only had $700 to invest at the time, and that's been
Okay.
long gone on bills now. And
yeah,
that's just because I was on Wall Street bets like everybody else was, and I was there very, very early. And they said, "Hey, AMC's about to skyrocket." And I was like, "I'm doing this for the first time in my
I
life."
do less stocks because
that.
stuff like that can be considered like pump and dunks. SEC regulates stuff like that, so might want to.
Hey, Wall Street
about what
bets.
you're
Fuck
talking
Wall
about,
Street
but-
bets.
I don't know anything about Wall Street bets. I just was there whenever they said everybody buy AMC, and I went and bought AMC.
So crypto is better because it's not regulated by the SEC, which is what stops stocks from being like organized pumps and organized.
Right, like what Logan Paul did, and all these YouTubers are doing with crypto is NFTs and shit.
Yep,
Just
yep,
pump and
yep.
dump.
And then, so like, if you do that with a regular stock, that is a very illegal thing. And many people from the Wall Street Bets subreddit got arrested, many of the mods,
For promoting that like that?
Yeah.
for
Interesting,
promoting
I
the
didn't know
pump
that.
and dumps.
Well,
Yeah.
Are you doing anything in the crypto real estate world?
So not really with like the metaverse. I don't like Mark Zuckerberg very much. But I hold a little bit with some smaller companies and some other things within that field, but I'm not gonna hold my bets on Mark Zuckerberg. I don't think the younger crowd likes him, and I don't think he will continue to prevail as other generations come in.
Well, he also had to sit on phone books to be tall enough in Congress. There's no way in hell that he's a real person. Because any man, and let's just say this is real men talk shit. I'm talking shit on Facebook. Any man that fucking has to sit on phone books in fucking Congress and doesn't say no isn't a fucking man.
I wouldn't sit on damn
Sure,
phone. I
for
don't care
sure.
if I had to stand on my
And,
tippy
and,
toes.
and then he stared at the cameras as he just sipped the
Oh,
water.
I do remember
like a
that. I remember that. He was
robot.
like,
yeah.
yeah, that was weird. Either way, I don't know much about the metaverse thing. My dad just told me a few days ago that apparently real estate is selling in the metaverse. You can actually buy land for millions of dollars. Is that
Yeah,
true? Or did he
so there's
misinterpret? My
been
dad learns everything
people-
from Facebook, and I'm with Zach. Fuck Facebook and their information and the shit that they let go on this website. If he learned it from website, I mean from Facebook, I'd rather hear it from somebody. That
Exactly.
knows.
So there's been people who have put in bids into the metaverse at like $500,000. I think the most recent, or not the most recent, but the most prevalent. Yes. Land was bought at, and like honestly, I don't think it's a good investment. I think that the younger generation is not going to relate with Facebook in the metaverse as it continues, and that something else will prevail. I can't say what that is right now, and I don't know what that is right now, but I believe something else will prevail.
Well, I
Do you
don't
think in
even-
the tech world there's ever a possibility of a too big to fail situation? I mean, like over 1 billion people still use Facebook every day for some fucking reason.
So no, like I think an argument could have been made that MySpace was too big to fail, but it failed.
Wholeheartedly agree.
Right.
When I was a
Yep.
teenager,
Like,
I bet you never even had a MySpace, did you, Myth? Myth, did you have a
MySpace was.
MySpace?
I didn't have MySpace. I was way too young for that.
Yeah,
But
my wife's
I think it could have been
24.
argued that was the biggest. That was like the Facebook of the time, and it
Yeah.
failed.
absolutely. When people started switching to Facebook, I was like, y'all are stupid. MySpace is way better. You get your own profile, the music plays when people come. It's a whole ass vibe. Facebook
you could
sucks.
sit there and change the way it fucking looks.
Yeah,
You can make it
HTML
personalized to you.
coding, put your own background, you know. I thought it was I was
Exactly.
like, this is way better than Facebook. Next thing I know, MySpace, all your friends haven't logged on in 2 years.
Yeah, so I was way too young for MySpace. I was born in 2002, so
92 years. So yeah, that was my generation.
yeah.
And it was definitely, I would agree with you. Of course, it never even got close to the Facebook numbers of today. Or well, if it did, I was unaware of it at the time. But
I don't even have
MySpace died.
Facebook. Like I made a Facebook when I was like 7 or something. I can't remember the email or the password, so I can't even delete it. But I haven't
18.
made a new Facebook since then. Like,
I was 18, and let me tell you that I was the last human being on earth to make a Facebook at that time. For me being 18, like Facebook had already been popping for years, and I was just like, I just don't like social media, which is ironic given my career today.
yeah.
I thought
Exactly.
MySpace would never
understand
go
that.
away too. I thought it was way better than Facebook. I thought it was way cooler, and then everybody switched to Facebook. So you're right, you know. And while I was inside, Facebook, in my opinion, I have no
it makes
idea
you
about
wonder
the
what the
statistics.
next one is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but like
Because
I don't
it's
have
not
any
gonna be
statistics
Twitter.
about it. It doesn't seem to me like it seems to me like more people are on Facebook now, like
Yes.
having accounts and on it every day than in 2012 when I went away. It seems like that, but at the same time, it seems like people prefer, especially the younger generation, coming up, Snapchat and Snapgram and InstaChat, as I like to call it, because I don't really fuck with those things like that. And
It makes
I
you
never
wonder
would have
what-
imagined that those things would be the behemoth titans they are. You know what, dude? Instagram existed in 2012 when I went to prison, by the way. And you know what we used to say back in 2012? Hey, man, how much does a hipster weigh? An Instagram. Ha, 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 ha. Because nobody used that shit. Because everybody
Nobody
thought it was
used
so
that shit.
lame. Nobody wants to use an app where you just look at people's pictures and then I go away for
Yeah.
5 years, come out, everybody changed their minds. So you're right, man. I guess
Well,
nobody
it is,
really
but
knows.
But it started as a platform to promote your pictures, right? It wasn't what
Yeah.
it is now, but it's actually it's more like people.
Now there's messaging and
So actually,
videos.
Facebook owns Instagram now.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's kind of
They just
insane.
Still goes back to
and-
the same pockets.
and
they own TikTok too, right?
Do they?
No.
I thought TikTok was Chinese.
No,
is that right,
TikTok is-
Zach? Do they own Facebook or
Let's
TikTok?
see.
I don't know. I
Does
saw a rumor that they also have partnered with
they own
TikTok.
Snapchat? That
Snapchat. There you go, Snapchat. Yeah.
Oh, they do.
We
have
we,
TikTok.
we
Facebook,
need
which
a
is US
Zach
company, does
of
not
our
own
own
TikTok.
for Real Men Talk Shit, for like Zach like PKA. We need a Zach of Real Men Talk Shit.
I think that's filling out an application right now, guys.
Yeah,
Maybe I should do that.
let's have the millionaire just run.
And I can do it for free, yeah, because I don't need money.
Unfortunately, we do.
but I respect Josh and Zach, and I hang out in Zach's server all the time. So maybe I'll just pay respect back to Zach's community and do that.
Exactly. But yeah,
Go ahead, Zach.
Actually,
My bad.
we're going to be dropping Real Men Talk Shit clips on TikTok. So if you guys have TikTok, make sure to check that shit out.
I just want everybody to know that I was not a part of this process of decision. I've agreed to it, but I did not vote for it. Just so everybody knows.
I think it's a good idea. I don't
On the
like
bright side,
TikTok as
I'm
an
not saying
app
it's a bad
itself,
idea.
but
Neither one of us have to do it.
yeah.
Oh god.
And like literally, I made the thumbnail for this episode for Zach's channel. So
Yeah, I got to send that
Thanks,
over
Dave.
to you, Josh. So don't.
What
make
what
me
is
so
this?
let me forget.
A myth. What is this next to you? The skeleton with the American cowboy.
so I'm not at home right now. I am at my mom's place. So I'm at the bar under which is in her basement.
Bar.
But usually I'm at my own place, which is pretty like minimalist. But this is like my stepdad created this. He's a big NASCAR fan, so like you can see like the racing panel. This is
Yeah.
literally a door off a race car. And this
He's got, like, a
skeleton
podcast
is
studio
both
in
my parents, or my mom and my stepdad, are fans of horror, so they have this skeleton for a Halloween decoration, and it's sitting next to me. So thought it was interesting.
I just hope it wasn't a date or something like that. Something weird like that.
Hopefully not.
Maybe you're gonna get lucky later on.
I was dog sitting for my dad, so I went to my mom's to see my sister, and I stayed the night so I didn't have to drive home at night with all the deer in the Midwest, because I live in Wisconsin. But
I understand. Trust me.
Right. Cheesehead there. Okay.
Jay-Z, you've had a fascinating life, man. My wife was sending me a list of the stuff that you've done, and I can't even keep up with it, man.
What do you
She's
mean?
probably still going.
You've been involved in everything. That is very impressive, man. And you didn't even try to break into this industry until your 40s. I know that I'm looping back now that we're like right at the end of time, but I've been very interested, man. I've really enjoyed your time on here. And so you didn't even try to broach this field until your 40s?
Well, it was yes and no, because I was playing hockey, and then I get this Wheaties commercial, right? And it's kind of accidental. Then from that, I did a Levi's commercial, and then I went back to playing hockey and coaching for a long time. Man, I was partners in a restaurant in New York City. I built a hockey program. I had some hockey schools, and in New York, every now and then I get a call. Hey, you want to audition for something? Yeah, but I wasn't an actor. I wasn't, and I had no craft. I had no skill at it. So I'm full of shit. So I could sit there and be cocky and stuff, but
Exactly.
actually do there and figure out how to be that's a craft. So I was doing basic hockey in the restaurant until late 2000. I got sick of being a coach, and I said the only either I go back to school. I have a degree, I have an economics degree, so you go back and become a lawyer, but that's gonna be another 8 to 10 years of school, or go back try to be a doctor or something. You know what, fuck it. What was the other way I made money? That was this commercial. I made a ton of money on this 3 commercials. I said, fucking acting's easy. I mean, that's easy money. So that's how I ended up starting trying to do this thing in earnest, where I made a commitment to it. So I'm gonna commit to this for 5 years. And I think I was 40 at the time.
That's when you drafted the plan that you mentioned?
Yeah.
To make sure you're going to be financially stable just in case?
Yeah. I mean, that's the first advice I get to an actor is like, have a job. Because so many actors try to do this thing without having a way to make a living. Because sitting there being poor and wishing you had something and begging for stuff, that's not a life. Go out, have experience, do things, go places. It makes you more interesting.
And it doesn't make you a better artist to suffer.
No, it doesn't.
Not in this regard for sure.
And you also you can't build a treehouse on a sapling. You got to grow your craft. You got to grow it. So then at some point it'll support you. But you try to demand it's not going to happen. It's not.
Now, so I'm just starting in this shit, and I do want to do voice acting, whether that's animation stuff or just actual voiced roles in things.
Yeah.
Would you tell me to get an agent, or would you tell me just try and do it myself?
An agent is.
Do I need an agent?
An agent is only as good as your resume.
Oh, fuck! Okay. I don't need one then. All right.
Yeah.
Don't need one yet.
Don't need one.
I rarely have. I just hired an agent recently. I mean, like, your agents can only do as much as your resume lets them, unless they're a power broker. But if they're a power broker, they're not going to be interested in you because
in a nobody.
I have a friend. A friend of mine runs one of the biggest agencies in LA. I mean, her kids are fans of mine, right? And I've been to dinner with her, and her husband's a manager, and I know them. And I remember I've been to the house for a couple of parties and things, and one of my other friends said, "Why don't you rep James?" And she goes, "He's too much work." She goes, "I don't hustle clients. I take phone calls." I mean, she's all A-list people, so it's not worth it to her. I'd have to make at least, the mandate is you got to make $1 million a year, because remember they take 10%. So I need to make $1 million a year so she can make 100,000. Like, okay. So I'm making $500,000 a year. It's just not enough money for her to be interested, because every minute she gives me is a minute she's not giving to Brad Pitt or Angelina Jolie or somebody, I'm not clients, but some name who's going to make her multi-millions of dollars, Yeah. So that's the thing about an agent. You can get one, but you can't depend on them. You've got to go out and build it and just get doing it, man. What I did, my plan was this. I knew that I had to make mistakes. I had to get in front of people, fuck up. I had to fail. Yeah. Then from the failures, I could learn what works and doesn't work. So where can I go to practice? For me, it was like pickup hockey. Where do I find my pickup acting? Student films, low budget, no budget, free film. I said yes to everything. My plan was I wanted to shoot 2 projects per week for a year. And that's it. I wanted to have at least over 100 things on my resume by the end of the year. And a lot of them were just total crap. Sometimes they're just a guy with a camera, whatever it was, I would do it. But that was the thing. You just keep doing it and doing it and doing it. You've
climb the ladder.
You got to have evidence. You need evidence that you can do it. You just can't say it. So that means you got to have a demo. So I would, practice every day. There's things I do scales every day. I do voiceover exercise every day, and practice that for 6 months, and then spend some money, get a demo, and then bug people. Just get out there. It doesn't come to you. You got to build it, and you build it by number one, getting good at it.
Yeah.
And getting good, you got to find out what that means. What does good mean? How can you speak articulately? Can you be authentic? Can you self-direct? Can you identify the story? Can you identify what the client wants? These are the things that get you the job, and these are things you have to acquire.
With voice acting, do you think it's as important your role as it is with like normal acting? Like normally there's certain actors who like take one or two types of roles. Do you think voice acting is the same way, or you think you can take any role?
I will take any role I get and do what I can with it. But the idea is eliminate that way of thinking. You take the work you can get as an actor, until you become big enough where people are looking for you.
Got to go in with no ego.
You got to go in with you got to go in with an absolute desire to enjoy your day. Yeah. You got to love every fucking moment of what you're doing. You got to really go in and embrace. Oh my God, I get to do this today. Oh yeah, let's have the most. I want to maximize my experience today. With everything, and it starts with waking up in the morning, putting your slippers on, and washing the dishes, making your bed. You got to have if I can't have this max amount of experience and intensity and joy and presence while washing dishes, how the fuck am I going to do it if I'm trying to get a score goal in the Stanley Cup playoffs, or if I'm on set and I got to I have a scene with whatever. If I can't do it, and I got to practice that muscles to be present and be good at my craft. So when I'm called upon, because remember, I'll get one take. Most of the stuff I've done, I had one take. Because back in the day, we had film, low budget film. You have 400 feet of film. You get one take because you got to shoot a whole movie. You get one take. So you had and you get, oh fuck! If I had just one more take, and that pain made me really understand preparation. And these are things that it comes to a point where you just got to be ready every day. Practice being under pressure, practice reacting to pressure, and then
with that preparation and with that practice. Now, this is the hardest thing that I've kind of found, because I've been doing prank phone calls, and we're going to integrate them into the show once we get it figured out, depending on if that's using this soundboard or how the hell we got to do this. How do you stay in character? How do you stay with a specific voice that you modulate your voice to? Or like, how do you stick to that voice that you're trying to portray without falling out of character? Because that's the hardest thing that I've sat there. I've done an effeminate voice.
You have to change. I would recommend that you change your way of looking at the craft. You become the voice. It's not a voice. Like I told you about what they did with Woods. You have somebody imitating the voice, but he's not the same.
He's not you.
Form. But he's not him either. He's not himself. Like he's not. There's very little about the character that represents him. They've directed him to be kind of represent the character that built. So the idea is that you want to become the voice. You don't want to try to. It's not a voice you're making. You become. So with Woods, with fucking Woods, it just turns. It's me with the intensity turned up a little bit, or the fucking bravado turned up. That's it. Where's my smokes? There's. I don't want. But you just turn it on. It's part of who you amplify parts of your personality. So it's not something you put on. It's something you pull out.
Okay. I didn't know if it was easier to just stick with an ideal of yourself and kind of just modulate yourself either higher or lower depending on what you need, or actually trying to create characters and try and throw yourself into different situations. That would be funny, and just trying to put yourself in that situation enough to where you actually execute it.
The hardest part is, and again, I simplify it for you. You have to become vulnerable. You've got to give yourself the freedom to feel things that really do not feel nice. You've got to give yourself the freedom to feel the things you're taught not to avoid. You got to go and swim in the most ickiest, uncomfortable emotions you have, because those are the ones that are interesting to people. You know, Woods is a very vulnerable character. You wouldn't think it, but he is. He's very. If you think about his behavior, he's vulnerable. He cares. He's vulnerable. He gets, you know, things bother him.
Yeah,
and that's what makes somebody interesting. Is that what's your humanity of it? So the hardest part is to strip away all the fears and defensiveness. We are surrounded by people who want to, you know, catch you on something or trick you, and so you get very defensive, especially when you do this universe. Because remember, you know, like he got thrown in jail for telling a fucking joke. My buddy Leachy got fucked up for cracking a joke. You got to be on your guard, but if you want to be in this business and be good at it, you got to let your guard down. You got to have, and it's not even bravery. It's got to be fearlessness. There's a difference. Bravery is when I'm afraid of something and I push through it. Fearlessness is the absence of fear. All there is, I want to fucking do this. I don't care what happens. Come on, let's fucking do this. You know, there's a certain devouring of the moment that has to happen for this to really sing. You got to devour the fucking lines. You got to devour it. You got to eat it for fucking lunch, man. You know?
Man,
you're so convincing as an actor. Like even when you're speaking to us just now, like you're completely there no matter what you're saying. And
nice to talk to somebody that's alive, man.
Yeah.
And when somebody's so energetic or emphasis on what the fuck they're doing and what the fuck they're saying, it's really, really empowering to be like, yeah, I'm actually interacting with these people. Yeah, I'm actually able to grow and learn from these people. And these are the people that you look up to. And it's so interesting and so heartfelt.
You know, the idea is, you know, there's this thing called generosity as an actor. And you never, there's just, it's some actors, and again, a lot of, and this happens a lot in these talk show worlds too. People try to win the scene or win the show or win the art. And as an actor, you gotta be like a great athlete where you make everybody better. My job is to make my job. And when I was a coach, I said, okay, you have two ways to approach your life. You can demand that your teammates help you out and make you better. You can demand that. And there's a lot of guys who do that and are successful. Or you can focus on making those other five guys on the ice better. And I know it sounds, you know, sort of like counterintuitive, but what you have to count on is those five other guys are working to make you better. So now you have 5 times the energy to do your work because you're giving up you're getting 5 times back what you're putting in. And that's how it is as an actor. You got to trust that you're person across from you. If I'm trying to make it easy for him to say his line, if I'm trying to give you the information or the energy you need, so that line you just react to me, then, and you give that back, then me and Kamar De La Reyes, Menendez, all that fucking stuff, we're just he's so generous, and we just, we connected. Yeah. Same with Rich McDonald, when he played David Mason. He and I had we did a movie together called SEAL Patrol. That's how we found him for the game. Yeah. And he and I, boom, still are great friends, you know. But it was just this generosity, like we both try to make it easier for the guy, and just these things just explodes, you know. So it's nuclear fission, you know. So that's the key to it all, and just have a conversation.
Right. I have to admit that, you know, I've been saying it for the past several months now. We've been doing these Sunday night weekly rehearsals for these scripts, you know, and running over them and trying to get them down and stuff like that. And there are just like maybe one or two, I'd say probably 2 people in there that are particularly, it almost seems to me like they're going out of their way to read it like they're falling asleep. And every single line and every single audition, I'm over here like, I'm not concerned at all about the North Pole. I'm trying to relocate my daughter or something like that, you know? And then somebody else comes in after me and they'll be like, but we have to stop at the left before we go all the way to the North Pole. And like, how am I supposed to come in with my next line after that? You know what I mean? Like I'm supposed to come back with this.
Okay, this is my point. This is my point. Mm-hmm. You take what is given. You start from where you are. You let it affect you. That's the thing. There is nothing but gifts coming to you as an art in life.
It makes sense.
Is a fucking gift. So if they're coming in like this, you go, okay, you're coming in like this. you follow them in there, and then you work your way through it. If you resist it, it's just now it's no fun because now you're bumping.
Now you're like, what the fuck's going on?
You accept it, and now you use it. Use everything.
You got a good point because conversely, she might have said, or he might have said, I was actually specifically thinking of a guy, but he might have said, "Oh, he comes in way too hot. I'm not trying to be there yet." Yeah,
and
I see what you're saying.
That's your director's fault. As a director, I got to communicate. Here's what you're doing. Here's what you're doing, and you never really want to tell another actor what to do because you want them to bring in something you wouldn't expect. If you're trying to control the other actor, it means you're limiting. You're seeing the world this way, and now that world's dead because it's your imagination. It's gone. You want to react in the moment, so you want to listen, like you're listening now, and you see the behavior you have. You're not in your head. You're you're listening, and you're interrupting. You're talking. That's a conversation,
right? Exactly.
And that's how it's as an actor. You got to take what they're doing and hear it, and I had this great teacher. He was Corey Allen. He was he played Bud in Rebel Without a Cause. The guy went over the cliff in the car. You see, okay, anyways. And he had this great exercise. I took very few acting classes. This is one I took, and it was a weekend seminar. And he had 10 people. He threw 10 different scripts in a pile. Not one script was from the same project. He handed you Chinatown, he gave me Scarface and something else. And he says, okay, I want you to read every single word, including staging directions, everything. And I want you to tell that person that his wife just died in a car crash. And he said, you take some, okay, I got this right here. And notification. Yeah, insurance benefits are eligible. Use whatever. And what was amazing is these incongruent scripts, you could have a conversation that made sense to everybody in the room. Like the intention is what drives it. Because once you're again, what you think, a thought that's repeated becomes a belief that's given attention and energy becomes momentum. So if you're focused on it and I see it in my head, you'll see it. All right. As a performer, as a singer, if I can see the story, you're going to feel the story. If I feel it, you feel it. That's just the magic of our antennas. We're like radio receptors. So as an actor, it's so simple. All you have to do is actually listen to what they're saying, and without judgment, just accept it and then respond
as though it was the beginning of the conversation.
Exactly.
It's a conversation.
That's what I used to tell people whenever they would deliver stale lines. I would say, think about it like we're just talking to each other. Don't think I memorized the line. Think about what you would say to me in this situation.
When you do that, you're trying to control it, and now you're cheating yourself and the other actor. You don't make the adjustment inside. Get angry, but if you try to direct another actor, you're now suppressing the possibilities because now you have an idea what you want it to be. It's going to sound like this, and it's going to be dull as hell because there's no energy there. It's locked into this small box. No matter what you may not. My perspective. You may not like it what they're doing. Use it. Fucking use that. I don't like it.
Get legitimately aggravated in my voice.
Yes. Yes.
Wield it.
Yeah. Legitimately fucking aggravated. What you got to do? Take an improv class.
Okay. I used to do those whenever I was in high school. I had a great time. So now I'm 29. Take an improv class, man.
And just learn to say yes. Yes, and. Yes, and.
Is that from your improv right there? From the improv class? Yes, and?
Yeah, that's I work for.
It's a big thing in improv. In improv, like they do. They do.
You said it quite literally.
Just yes, and.
Yes, and.
And like, Zach, I actually didn't know you were interested, as close as a friend as I consider myself to you, in voice acting. What type of voice acting have you considered?
I mainly am trying to think of different ways that I'm able to use my voice and my thoughts and stuff like that and monetize it in different ways. So that way I'm able to explore and kind of expand what I'm trying to do. I want to be able to turn this microphone and this computer into something that's able to create content that people want to watch and entertain and go through the steps of like, hey, this is either emotional, this will help me, I'm able to tell stories and able to explore thought. I want to be able to do all of that stuff. So whether it's voice acting, podcasting, producing, any of that stuff, I kind of want to do it all because I feel like I love doing prank phone calls. I think it's fucking hilarious. I think,
Place to practice.
yeah, and like being able to change my voice and modulate that stuff is a great place to actually come up with characters and stuff like that to be able to voice act. And I think they all kind of interact and go through and kind of interact with each other. And I think that it would actually be beneficial to me to go through and try and at least effectively do it. Whether or not I'm actually able to achieve that, who the fuck knows? But I think it would be possible.
So, Woods, as a professional voice actor, what do you think are the best tips to help someone like Zach into getting into this business?
Well, number one is have a way to make a living. So you have time and resources to build. That's number one. Yep. Have a set routine, and so you have your and you can take a class online. These are easy classes to take. Just learn what some just practice, articulation practice, timing practice, understanding, and study. And go online when you start listening to commercials on the air or animation. Listen with a scrutiny. Don't just listen to kind of watch the TV show. But like when I watch a movie, I'm studying camera angles. I'm studying why did that actor move his hand there. I look at the technical part of the movie as well as the story part, and I try to always study the technical before the story. It kind of loses some of the fun of it, but it's my craft, and so start listening to the things that interest you. But most of all, I mean, for me, and I'm doing this with my music career, it's like, what do I like? What is organic to me? I'm going there. This feels good. I'm not going to try to sound like Stevie Vai. I can't play like that. That's not what I'm doing. I'm not going to try to sound like, the guy from Soundgarden. I don't sound like that. What do I sound like? And what feels right? What's something that I'm going to enjoy doing that I'm not going to scratch myself up for not being, I'm not like Prince. Oh, fuck it, I'll never do it. That's the killer. So the idea is find something that's fun to do and do it. And just fucking keep doing it, man. Just
love what you're doing.
Yeah. Commit 2 hours a day and fill it up with stuff. Right?
Yep.
Spend 15 minutes. When you find a character that's cool, make sure I have, iPhone, you have that little voice recorder. Everything I do is on that voice recorder. Get an idea, throw it on there. Just throw it down, capture it, because it's gold, and just
absolutely
2 hours a day, man. 2 hours a day of just that. And I guarantee you in 3 months, you're going to have results. Or at least by then, you have confidence that I have this, I do this well. Then the opportunity will appear. Again, I don't get too fucking spiritual on this shit, but when you move in a direction, the fucking universe conspires to help you get there. And I've seen it and been it so many times. And I know it sounds woo and all that horse shit, but I'm telling you, it's simple. It's quantum physics. A thought that gets repeated becomes a belief. You believe it. If you say something enough, you fucking believe it. And if you take that belief and you commit to it with energy and ideas, you feed it, it becomes your momentum. And once you have momentum, life gets easy because now it's momentum. You don't have to work anymore. It's like on a bicycle. When you get going, you're fucking going.
Rolling Stone gathers no moss.
Yeah. I very much believe this, and like even with Zach with like voice acting, like he obviously he struggles as like a single father, but like I've found him through like seemingly the YouTube algorithm of finding me like PK and finding him, and then like me like I'm sending him like a nice mic, like a Shure MV7, which is like a $450 mic, man. Which he'll get, and like he'll be able to like continue the shit. What I didn't even know he was into voice acting, but now he'll be able to like have like
he's got the mic set up.
Yeah.
Yep. And that's kind of what he was just saying about how things just kind of fall into place, when you're working towards them and you really want them.
It's crazy because I don't know about you guys. Josh, you probably took it. In 9th grade, they have you take this test that kind of like places you where you might want to be.
Yeah,
And-
the career test or whatever.
You'll never guess what the fuck my career test told me I should be.
What was it?
Audio and video production and engineer.
I
What am I doing now?
Interesting.
I never
I'm-
got. I'm so pissed. I wish I could have taken a test like that. I am so fucking pissed.
You know what mine always told me, Zach? Mine always told me graphical design, and now I'm like creating thumbnails for you, and like that's not even like what I'm getting income from, but like it's what I get the most like satisfying thing from. It's just like helping my
what-
friends and like help.
What test
You're
is
my,
this?
What?
I have to take this test. I have to fucking take it.
I'll find
I
it.
can't remember what it was called. Like career
So-
guidance.
Yeah,
I think it's
like
called
a
career guidance.
Yeah. And it's like there's personality questions, there's life questions, there's intelligence questions. And it was weird because like I always wanted to like create music. And like I thought music was where I was going to end up. Like just a music producer making beats, doing all the kind of basic stuff. And now I'm the producer of fucking Painkiller already. Like how the fuck does that work? Like you go from thinking music is going to be your entire world to not listening to music at all pretty much, and just consumed by podcasting, consumed by being able to tell your story, consumed by the written word and being able to speak it. It's a weird kind of acknowledgement to be like, yeah, well, I fucking did it. I accomplished what that test told me I was going to do. And it's kind of weird that I didn't even set out to do it until right beforehand.
And we still got growth too. Still got room for growth, man.
Yeah.
Nowhere
This
but
show's
up.
going to do something. It's going to do something. It feels that way.
This is
It's
only like
just-
my second or third actual episode, man. And it's been a banger, James, for real, man. I personally appreciate your outlook on life, man. I like that wisdom. Before I went to prison, I made the grave mistake of not listening to anything that anyone 10 minutes older than me told me. And that was a grave mistake that I made. And as I got older, I've realized
Yeah.
do what people that are wiser than you tell you to do. So I appreciate the
Don't
wisdom, man.
Don't reinvent the wheel if you don't have to.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Hand me them fucking tires, man. I don't want to make those tires. Hand them to me.
Exactly. I was trying to make my own wheel for some reason and not vibing with the wisdom, but I appreciate everything you said tonight, man. I relate with it a lot and I believe in everything that you said. Absolutely. And I'm going to also take a lot to heart with me when I go back to voice rehearsal next week. Hopefully there's a noticeable difference.
It's just practicing, I guess. And it's interesting to look at it and be like, you know what? I can do this. And so many things in my life I've been self-conscious about, so many things that are just a struggle because of time, because of consumption of everything in the fucking world. Like you can see the bags under my eyes. I've gotten fucking 5 hours of sleep, but like it's still fucking going. It's still fucking going. And like, in the grand scheme of things, you got to fucking do it. You just got to do it. And at some point
grind
the
it.
challenge is going to be this. The challenge is going to be this. Is as you progress into these worlds of
entertainment.
I call it attainment. You know, man, being able to choose happiness is the only thing you got.
Yeah.
And at any point in time, you can take any circumstance and make it okay and make it better. But you got to. It's a choice, and I don't say that arbitrarily or without weight. I mean, like. It's a difficult skill to acquire. I have to practice every day. I have a whole routine every day so I can keep my mind clear so I don't absorb other people's ideas, thoughts. Other people's words, thoughts, and actions can never become part of my personal definition. When they do, I become a slave to everybody else's ideas or thoughts or questions or doubts or demands or approvals. You know, it's like, and it takes a constant awareness to not get sucked in. And I fail every day at it. But the thing is, you want to be like when you're on a bicycle. You're always wobbling, but you're not falling over. You compensate. You correct constantly. And the minute a negative thought comes, the minute a very harsh, judgmental thought comes in my head, I have a whole alarm system. And the trick is for me is when something happens, I use it to remind myself, oh, you have shit to do today. So you don't fight it because the book I'm writing is called Brown Bears. It's on this kind of stuff. You know, it's like and I say, don't think about green monkeys. What do you think about? Green monkeys, right?
Green monkeys.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, if I say brown bears, guess what? What do you think about?
Brown
Green
bears.
monkeys.
What did you stop doing? Think about green monkeys. And that's the whole philosophy. Change the thought. When the thought occurs that doesn't serve the purpose, put a new thought in there that will serve a purpose and make that your go. And every time the green monkey comes up, I think about a brown bear. And that brown bear is the thing I'm trying to create in my universe right now. And it's a freebie now. So all this now, instead of having this wind in your face, you got this wind at your back. Like, oh yeah, my girlfriend said, hey, I get it. And now it just gives me more momentum. Like when you go to rehearsal, just remember, oh, I'm having an emotion. I'm pissed at her. I'm going to use that. Even if it doesn't belong in the stage direction. And that's what I was talking about going off the ranch when I was getting these great jobs, is that instead of trying to conform to, like, I would do what was organically happening in the moment. I'd be pissed or whatever it was, whatever the inspiration I got from the environment is what I went with. And that's where the gold is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Use it all, good, bad,
Like when I do,
go ahead.
When I do prank calls, like I have to have an audience in my ears so I can like have that feedback loop of, okay, where I'm going is funny. It might not be the greatest, but I need to have that feedback loop so I'm actually obtaining what I'm trying to do.
Yes,
I'm gonna fail. You can't tell jokes without having somebody laughing behind you. Otherwise, it's not fucking funny.
Well, this is why they have the laugh tracks for comedies.
Yep.
To make you laugh.
Yeah.
Because we don't know what the cues are. It's hard to tell what they're writing. Is this funny? Where's the cue? Oh, it's funny because I'm hearing a track.
Yeah.
If you do that in your show, if you had a laugh track on your show would be much funnier. It's just science, man. People want to know how to feel.
Yeah. Sure.
It's like the thing on YouTube when you listen to the Big Bang without the laugh track. Like it's super cringy, but it's like one of the most popular shows on cable TV.
Yeah, but if you take the laugh track out, you don't know the cues. No one tells you what you should be doing, and we are so desperate to be told what to do. Like the industry of being told what to do is a multi-trillion-dollar industry. Oh, tell me how to do crypto. Tell me how to do this. Tell me. Basically, you're saying, do it for me. Tell me what I should think. Give me my information. Tell me what I should be. Because it's hard to own yourself. It's hard to own your own mind. Because everyone's constantly trying to steal it from you. The whole world is built to get your attention. Because what's the most valuable thing we own, gentlemen? What's our most valuable asset that we have? The most valuable asset any human being has?
Our mind, I would assume.
Or time.
Your attention. Your attention.
Nothing gets done with no attention.
Yep.
Your attention.
Take Adderall for that reason.
People are constantly trying to get control of your attention. If they get your attention, then they get your energy. Then your energy is moving in their direction. They probably get your money as well. Remember, your attention is the most valuable commodity you have. Where are you going to put it? How are you going to spend? Instead of spending it, invest it. Where you invest your attention is where your life will go.
Burns,
love that
speak
shit
for everybody. I think that's a great place to end it. We're all fucking tired.
I'm tired, man. It was worth it. That was phenomenal,
a great
man.
fucking episode. Thank you so much for coming on. I'm sure we're going to sit here and bullshit for the next.
It's almost
15
like you're
minutes,
performing, except for you're hitting us with real shit and nothing fake. It's great.
We would love to have you on again. I'm sure it'll happen at some point.
Definitely.
Thank you, everybody, for coming and hanging out.
I'm glad. I'm glad one of the only podcasts I get to join is one with you, and you were an amazing guest on it. So,
oh man, guys, it takes one to know one. We don't have this interaction unless we're all participating. So, this is the result of four or five gentlemen having a light conversation and trying to move things forward. It's an honor. It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure being here. Fucking flew by. 2 hours.
Absolutely did.
It did. It really
Shout
did.
out your shit,
Holy
brother.
shit! It's 2 hours. So
yep.
Yeah.
do it
You got
again.
any socials you want? You got any socials?
Any
you wanna shout out, James?
socials?
What?
Any socials you want to shout out?
Twitter, Instagram, anything
Oh
like
yeah,
that.
I have an Instagram account, James C. Burns, and I have a YouTube channel, Sarge's Corner. Twitter's, yeah, I'm around. You know what? Just fucking Google me. I'm so easy to find. I just say, just fucking Google me.
You'll
It's
find
embarrassing.
him.
Like Zach said, you Google me, shit, like it's So,
Are you this Sarge's Corner? 107,000.
Yeah.
There we go. Find him on Instagram.
I've had your videos
find him on
recommended to me
YouTube.
before.
You don't watch them?
I'm not sure if I clicked on it or not. I knew the name when you said it though. I don't remember what the video was.
Did you
Get
watch
that
any of
SEO
the?
up.
Did you watch any of the Christmas music I made? The concerts?
I don't think so, man. I will absolutely
Oh
check
my
it out
god!
now though.
Dude, I do parody songs of Call of Duty. I make parody
Oh,
songs,
nice.
Sick.
and
That's awesome.
I have one. This new one is called Update Wonderland, and then I have so this is Krampus, and then last year's was Jingle Woods Rock, and then the one this summer before is called
Sick.
Hey Mason. Yeah,
Nice.
Cool,
Check
I'll
out
check
his
it out.
YouTube. Check
I
out
just
his
subscribed to you.
parody songs. Check out his Instagram. Thanks.
Please do.
Thanks for coming, James.
Thanks
Seriously,
for coming,
James,
brother.
man. An absolute honor, man.
Woods, yeah.
Have a great
Thanks.
night, dude.
Think real shit's been talked. We'll see you fucking tomorrow.